what's up, guys? Long time KROQ listener here. Just want to say Klein and Allie are the best thing that has happened to Los Angeles in over 2 decades. Thank you, Klein and Allie. Thank you, whoever put Klein and Allie to work over here. And thank you, KROQ.
Good morning. It's Friday the 13th, and this here is, hey, check it out. Here's Klein with the weekend song.
You ain't got to flame everything.
She's a bitch.
Oh, my God.
Oh, this is not going to be good.
Who?
It's not about that Monday, Tuesday. No one cares about Wednesday. Thursday. Forget that noise. Are you ready for the weekend? Are you ready for the rear-end? Are you ready for the weekend? Are you ready for the rear-end? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, trash. Thursday, Friday, forget about it. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, sleeping in, eating brunch.
Oh, I love dry humping.
I'ma eat it all. Yummy, yummy, yummy. We're at the Pantages. Woo. Oh, baby.
Hit the beach or hit the mall. Go out with friends, do nothing at all. Sleep in, watch movies, read books. Anything goes, just take a look. Are you ready for the weekend? Yeah. Are you ready for the rear-end?
What's the second
Are you ready for the weekend? Yeah. Are you ready for the rear-end? No. Are you ready for the weekend? Yeah. Are you ready for the rear-end?
Day.
Ready for the weekend? Yeah. Are you ready for the rear-end? No. Are you ready for the weekend? Yeah. Are you ready for the rear-end? No.
All I have to do is sit on my couch and scratch my balls for the next
We are live in Los Angeles. 3, 2, 1. And here we go.
Klein Alley Show. 106.7 KROQ FM in HD Pasadena, Los Angeles, Orange County. This is the world famous KROQ.
Oh, yeah, welcome to your weekend. Good morning, Klein Alley Show on KROQ. If you need us, the phone's open now at 800-520-1067. Call, text, leave here with the final giant TV this week, 490 inches worth of TV just in time for Father's Day. We'll get through a round of Do More Better, all of the complaints that have been piling up all week long.
Especially since the summer hours, I'm sure there's a lot more complaints.
There are so many complaints about summer hours for so many different reasons. It's just kind of a wild. You do something that the goal was a good thing for the people.
This is actually what you wanted.
And we got a lot of complaints, but some good, some bad, some are backhanded complaints.
How many are Vanessa hating the gays complaints?
Mostly it's a lot of gay people that are mad at Vanessa still. Understand
Rightly
that.
so.
Okay, fancy boy.
Okay, relax. They still have a few more weeks left of their month, and then you can let it all out, Vanessa. Just hold it in for now. Okay?
Well, I think one of the complaints that stuck with me was from 562 is that I used to wait until about 9:45 to use the restroom and dump out each morning so that I can listen to the end of the show while I dump out. Now I have to wait an hour more because I don't want to miss anything live. And now I'm experiencing intestinal cramping during the final hour. Thanks for nothing.
Well, that was one of you and Jake can experience those intestinal cramps together. We got a great show planned for you. I don't want to give everything away. I know in a moment Allie wants to shed some light on a giant scam that's been affecting everyone, including you in Southern California. But I am so excited because later this morning we did go out into the streets to find out if everyone is crazy or if Allie is crazy, based on her theory that everyone knows Joshua Jackson and he is an A-lister. And we're going to listen to some of these clips throughout the show today. But I just want you to get a sense of where the general public is at right now.
What's your name?
Weller from Glendale.
Weller, can you tell me who Joshua Jackson is?
Joshua Jackson. Absolutely not.
With anger.
He seems mad.
He's mad that he was going to ask the question.
If you had to guess why he's famous, what would you guess?
I don't know. Sports.
What sport do you think he plays?
Baseball.
Can you give me an example? Who do you consider a Hollywood A-lister?
A Hollywood A-lister?
Yeah.
Denzel.
Yeah, he's right. Denzel,
yeah.
A-lister. But in Allie's world, she didn't even talk about Denzel.
Get out of here, Denzel.
Allie's all
It's
about
Joshua's time.
Jake asked like 50 people in the streets yesterday.
Oh, come on.
The responses are crazy.
Half and half, at least?
Nowhere close to half and half. It's a social experiment. Wanted to see if Allie's sniffer is right as to who is an A-lister in Hollywood. And we'll get to that coming up a little bit later this morning as well. But this is a big scam.
Oh, yeah. This is something that's been going on for years. It's getting worse now, and I'm going to save you money. Not a lot of money, but every dollar counts, as you know.
Yeah, I was actually shocked when I found out about this. So you'll want to hear what Allie has to say. potentially a class action lawsuit for all of us to get stupid rich together, and we'll do it after Chop Suey on KROQ. Happy Friday.
Wake up! Wake up!
Show. Lots to get into this morning. Lots for you to win. Giant TVs, tickets to Knott's Berry Farm, and, of course, just our company, which is not... That's probably stacked accordingly. Giant TV first, Knott's Berry second, and then our company third. But you'll want to hear this because this potentially could save you a ton of money.
Yeah, and Klein, as you know, I've been tightening the purse strings around here this year,
have.
especially with inflation and all the uncertainty out there. I feel like it's a good time. Tipping is at an all-time high. Inflation at the grocery store is crazy. So any place that I can save money, I will. And there is something egregious happening at the gas stations in Southern California that I think is important to share. There is an air pump at almost every gas station, all right? You go there, if you have to fill up your tire, move on with your life. And a lot of them have an old coin slot that's probably not operational anymore. And a lot of the new ones have a little tap-to-pay box.
With your credit card.
Yeah, where you
Your
just
Apple
tap.
Pay, whatever.
It's $1.50 for 4 minutes or whatever, just like a car vacuum, right? Now, what people don't understand or may not know is that in the state of California, you don't have to pay for air. It's free. And I've been to many gas stations where I just go up, push the button, and it turns on, and I fill my car up, and I'm on my way.
How much air are you using that you've gotten to the bottom of this? Because I'm telling you right now, in the history of my entire life, I've probably used the air thing at a gas station like 3 times ever.
I got air at my back tire every 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm doing mine every 2 weeks because I have a slow leak.
Oh, Jesus.
I've been doing it for like a year.
Wait, didn't you just get new tires?
Yeah, I did, Omar.
Don't you have an endorsement with a tire company?
I do.
Yeah.
Go get that fixed.
And they do free patches.
Yeah, well, you should look into that.
Oh, my God.
I haven't gone around to it. So I've gone up to 3 different pumps at this point.
And they're trying to bang you out for $1.50 for 4 minutes of air.
Yeah, which who needs 4 minutes of air? That's a lot.
Yeah, we're on the air for 4 hours every day. It's way too much.
Exactly. So I've noticed at some of these places that didn't have anything on the pump now have this little card reader, including the one that I went to yesterday. There has never been a card reader on there, and now all of a sudden there's a tap-to-pay feature, and it says $1.50 for 4 minutes. I go up, and I look around for somebody who works there, and I see this guy who is just a customer at the gas station. He goes, "Oh yeah, you have to just tap to pay. It's $1.50." And I said, "No, it's not, because the air is free. Air is free in California." And he goes, "Oh, no, I don't think so. I think you have to pay." And I was like, hold on a minute.
Here comes Allie. This is where Allie was born for an opportunity like this.
Let me speak to the manager.
Super Karen has arrived. She's here. Hello.
I will save every $1 or $1.50. Nobody should have to pay for air in Southern California. And they will not as long as I'm around. So I found a worker that was walking by. I flagged him down, yelled, and said, Excuse me. Why is there a card reader on this air pump? Because air is free." And he goes, "Yeah, you're going to have to go inside and talk to the manager."
Oh, according to the text line, Allie, by the way, air is only free if you buy something else at the gas station.
Nope. I walked in.
That's what text line is saying.
I walked in, and and the guy told me like it was routine, like, "Yeah, you got to just go in there and tell him." So I went in there, and they said, "Talk to Mario." I said, "Hello, Mario. Please turn on the air." And he said, "No problem." And I went back out. He turned the air on, and as I walked by the customer,
he's like, "I don't want this noise with Super Karen over there. I don't want this.
Wide-eyed.
It's a stump. No, it's a boulder.
And
No, it's Super Karen."
And he was amazed at the fact that all of a sudden the air pump was on. I filled my tire. I got in my car, and the guy just sipped his Slurpee like I was.
So I
was Jesus Christ.
How big do you think this scam is going? You think that the gas stations are making an additional millions of dollars a year on people that are paying for free air? Is that what you think?
I think these gas stations have decided nobody really knows anything about this air law, and if I slap a card reader on something, people will just pay without really knowing, and what's the harm in just putting it on and probably making a good chunk of change unknowingly when I wouldn't have made any money before because I'm supposed to give it for free.
You know what you need to do? You need to be the official voice and face of free air, and you need to go around and set up shop.
I'm going to take over the airwaves.
You should not
about free air.
Not on these airwaves, but go over there to the gas station, and you should make your way from gas station to gas station and stand on like some sort of a thing and just tell people, by the way,
do not pay.
Yeah, this is free. They're scamming you.
Jehovah's Witness of air.
Anybody with a slow leak?
Yeah.
Okay, and you've been paying, all that adds up. Think about what Jake's doing every 2 weeks. That's $1.50 a week, okay?
I went to the same place, and they would give me tokens. You had to go in and get tokens for the thing.
That's BS, too.
No, the tokens they'll hand you the tokens.
Oh,
the tokens,
the little squiggly ones?
Yeah, you can go in and ask for them, yeah. And then you'll put them in the machine.
The thing is, they bet on the fact that people don't want to go in and ask. If you weren't planning on going into the gas station, you don't want to go in. You want to avoid that.
I have a new nickname alert for Allie. She's the new Aaron. She's like Karen with an air. She's Aaron. She will complain about all air and will not pay for air, and that's where she draws the line. If you paid for air at any point in the recent future, recent history, recent past, whatever, you are getting scammed. It is free.
Somebody else said it literally says free air on the machine sometimes, but no one reads it because reading is lame.
Hold on, John, you're on with Erin. She is defending all people to never have to pay for air in the state of California. Go ahead. Hello, John.
Hi. The actual law is the air is free as long as you buy gas, but the gas stations don't own the air pumps; they just operate them. So if you just go inside and tell them, they don't care. They'll just turn it on.
714 Allie is right. In the state of California, water and air is free without any purchase. And 213 said Allie is correct. All you have to do is go in and ask them to turn on the air, and they're required to.
All right, well, there you go, guys. What a start to your morning. I mean, learning that potentially you're going to save yourself over the course of the next few years upwards of $1.50. Seems like worth it.
It could get to $8 or $10, Klein, in savings for the lifetime.
What does Allie think all of the air that she just wasted on KROQ is worth? That's a great question, guys. I don't know the answer.
Ask Aaron.
If you would like $100, well, now she's got it, so she's just saved a ton. If you want $100 or potentially $500 of Allie's money, call now for some Allie Knows the News. 5 questions about stuff going on in the world. If you do better than she does, she will instantly pay you. That and more is next on KROQ.
Starting tonight at 7, KROQ is offering you The Contract to enter an exclusive agreement for a legally binding night of 21 Pilots.
We're 21 Pilots and we don't approve of that.
Yeah, but KROQ does. Here are the terms. Listen all weekend for the code word to text for your chance to win your way in. And negotiate a pair of tickets to catch 21 Pilots live at BMO Stadium October 25th.
Taking my time on my ride. All my friends are here, take it slow.
Don't miss
official The Non-Compete. Sign the contract and lock in your spot at the loudest clause ever drafted up. Courtesy of Live Nation.
The World Famous KROQ.
Starting tonight at 7.
KROQ, Klein Alley Show. It's National Cheeseburger Day, and we've got the new and improved, or potentially new and disproved Diddy burger, which is how he liked to have his cheeseburgers, covered in applesauce. Jake the Nerd loves a good cheeseburger. Is that your favorite food, Jake? Cheeseburger when you're eating?
It's one of them. I think probably pizza is my favorite.
Yeah.
You also love a hush puppy.
Oh, I love hush puppies.
Big fan of hush puppy. And he loves
they're
anything,
hard to find,
anything
though.
with corn. He's a big fan of all things with corn.
Anything that's difficult to get.
I like bread.
If you're at a restaurant and you're only serving Asian cuisine, Jake better believe he's going to ask for pepperoni because he likes to make it difficult.
Yeah.
But you do like a burger so much so that when you go on dates, sometimes you will pre-order a burger, leave it in the trunk of your car, just in case the date goes bad. At the very least, you have a consolation trunk burger.
I did that one time.
One is plenty.
The fact that you pre-ordered a burger, left it in your trunk, and then immediately went to it after your date says enough, right?
The fact that you've done it at all.
Well, it was one time.
Yeah, but
and it was still good.
But you're the inventor of the trunk burger.
Well, thank you.
So, not since the trunk burger has there been such controversy, and now there's the Diddy burger with and this guy did it all the time. Apparently, it's the only way Diddy ate a cheeseburger. If there was a cheeseburger nearby and someone didn't have applesauce, they were getting fired.
I've had a lot of weird things on a cheeseburger, and applesauce, I could already, in my head, I don't think it's going to taste good.
Yeah, well, even Andrew Zimmern, he was asked about it at the airport, and he said he'd had apples, like apple slices on a burger, and with that crunch, it was good, but
Right.
applesauce is a no.
Right. It seems the consistency would all be off. But we're going to find out together with a high-voltage food review. I've got the words here, 5 words in front of me. If you say any of these words, you're going to get a shock of electricity. Jake is currently wearing the dog shock collar around his neck. If you're not watching us on YouTube, please join us there right now. You can find us on KROQ's YouTube where we are live. And Jake, let me give you a test shock to see if you even feel it. Once again, you'll get 60 seconds to do a full review of the Diddy cheeseburger in honor of Cheeseburger Day, which is today.
In honor of, don't say Diddy.
And in honor of Diddy. Great guy.
Is there a question? Is there pickles, ketchup? What's on this cheeseburger?
It is, I think it looks like ketchup, cheese, and it's hard to tell if there's mayo on it because Vanessa just completely slathered this thing with apple. I thought it was going to be like just like a bite. I was going to like dip it or something, and it's just completely covered.
She used an entire one of those pouches,
And applesauce.
like one of those little pouches a kid would.
One of those Go-Go's or something?
Go-Go.
So, like, you can't even save the burger afterwards. You can't, just eat half and then...
I love that you're mad that you can't save.
I was going to put it in my trunk.
You're going to put it in?
I was going to be the second trunk burger.
There's also more applesauce on the side if you need to dip it to get the
I'm
full
going to
effect.
guess I don't need that.
And I know that was your snack today, Vanessa, the Go-Go pouch. So thank you for sharing it with us for this.
Thanks for sharing your staff.
Sorry,
We'll
if
get
you're
you
gonna-
an Otter Pop.
Sorry if you're going to be cranky later. Okay, so here's a practice shock. Okay, it works?
Yes, it works.
Okay, great. That was a practice shock, the shock collar. Whenever we're ready, we've got the high voltage intro, and then we can officially kick off.
You want me to bite it now while the intro plays?
No, let the intro play, and then your time can
can't
start.
wait, can you?
Jeez, she's so hungry,
My
this guy.
Voltage Review.
All right, welcome to the High Voltage Food Review. Jake the Nerd is going to now review the Diddy cheeseburger whenever you're ready.
This music.
He's taking 3 bites at once. Incredible.
How are people only complaining about Molly on this show?
We do so
We're
much
doing
more
this.
stuff. Go ahead, Jake.
Oddly, you can't really taste it. You would think that the applesauce would cut more, but it really doesn't make a difference of the burger at all. I just taste like the cheese and the ketchup more than anything else.
Well, pour more applesauce on it so you
No,
can get the full effect.
we gave you a side. A little extra Diddy on the side for you. Oil that thing up. Give it a taste.
It's not good.
Mm-hmm.
Ow! But it could be a lot worse.
Mm-hmm.
You would think in your head it'd be terrible, and it's very edible.
What about the consistency of the burger?
Of the burger?
Yeah.
Normal consistency. Stop trying to get me to say a word. Normal burger consistency.
Okay.
But it is exactly how you would think it would taste, except not as.
Well, we don't know how we think it would taste because we've never tasted it.
Yeah, you have to describe it. This review is lackluster.
Jesus.
You know, it tastes like a normal burger with a slight hint of applesauce. You can barely taste it.
You're just describing what we're looking at.
It's not delicious. It's not very tangy. It's not really anything. It's a bad topping on a burger.
What is the opposite of bad?
Not good. Ah! And ow! I didn't even say anything.
That was a mistake. That was a boredom shot.
But I am disappointed that this whole burger is slathered in it because now I can't eat the rest because I only have like one meal a day and half of it's ruined now because I ate this junk.
I like it that you think this meal was ruined because of the applesauce, not the fact you're wearing a shock collar while eating. Like, that's interesting.
Well, this has been a very easy one because I only got shocked like 3 times. So that's been a minute, right?
Did it taste cooked well or overcooked?
It was made fine.
Really? Because I think Vanessa maybe screwed up a little bit when she reheated
you think
it.
she burned it?
All right.
On a scale of 1 to burned, how burned is it?
It's 2.
All
Do
right.
what?
There's Jake's high voltage food review.
Thank you. Ow!
That was my mistake. That was a slip of the thumb. All right,
I
there you
don't
have
know.
it.
That's Jake's only meal. He has one meal a day now.
Yeah.
One like big meal, and a whole burger would be like a decent meal, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then it'll make me a small snack at night.
A little dry, would you say, or?
No, it's not. Not dry.
God damn it. You took it off.
You took off the shock collar. All right, well, there you go. A lackluster review of the Diddy applesauce burger. KROQ, your Klein Alley show every morning around this time, at least during the summer. We give you a shot at Allie's money, $100 usually, but on Fridays, I don't know how it started, but she got really excited about the concept of the $500 Fridays. People, what do you mean, no, you didn't? Why are you saying no, you didn't?
I was not excited by $500 Fridays.
People started singing jingles. You started singing the jingle. Everyone got excited about it.
I love a good jingle. You know this about me.
500
Fridays.
See?
All right, let's do it.
It's
Actually,
catchy.
I
It's
think
catchy.
this week it should be 400 because she lost, didn't she?
When did she already lost this week?
I think she lost on Monday.
Oh, yeah, that was the idea, right, is that it would build during the week, and then if you didn't lose at all, by Friday, it would be potentially up to $500. Kind of a rolling jackpot sort of thing. And we make up the rules around here. I mean, look, it's like...
Apparently, it's not my decision. It's my money.
I want to be devil's advocate. Has this been confirmed by our bosses?
Doesn't matter. Allie's
my money.
Allie's paying the people, so what's it matter? It's her money. If she's fine to send it out, I mean...
Allie, don't sue us.
Don't sue us. Allie, don't sue us. Why would you say that? Why put that thought into her head? She's busy suing the gas stations now.
You know what? Vanessa's got a point. I'm going to sue the crap out of this company.
500.
You're going to sue the $5 out of the company?
And I'm going to get $5 million.
I don't think that's going to happen at all. All right. Let's listen. Hey, this guy's got an interesting point on the GOAT line, although we're not going to listen to him, but...
What's up, guys? It's your boy, Chris. Calling about the 500 Fridays, and I feel like Klein always makes Allie pay for and I feel like it would be a good idea if Allie wins on Friday, Klein has to pay her $100. I think it's only fair.
No.
Klein's always
That
putting
sounds
Allie's money
great.
Stupid.
up for everybody else.
All right.
All right, you know what?
And no one cares,
Klein
Chris.
pays Allie.
It's not catchy, guys. Not catchy.
$100 if you win.
I like it.
Let me say, before we get to the game, which we will do in a moment, I got half the people on the phone want to play the game. Half the people are just calling to thank you, Allie, for being the hero they needed.
Yeah, people are calling me a Jehovah's Witness.
Jehovah's Witness. They're calling her Karen. Go ahead. Rose, you'd like to say something to Allie? She's a hero this morning.
Yes, I just wanted to tell Allie that she's absolutely right on the whole air thing. And for anybody who's driving and does not know that already, that their dumbass should be paying for the gas.
Mm-hmm.
That's their dumb.
All right.
That's what they deserve, to pay
All
for
right.
gas if they don't already know that.
Allie is a real hero of free
It's a
things.
little extreme.
A little extreme.
It's my Karen buddy right there.
That's right. Allie and Rose are going to take on the world, one air pump at a time. All
Somebody
right.
else on the text line said I went up to a place and they were charging $4 for air.
I
so
believe
they
it.
said I just drove away, but
Hey.
that's crazy.
People do not pay for your air. We give you free air 4 hours plus every morning here on KROQ. You get free air whatever gas station you go to in the state of California. Do not fall for the scam. All right, let's say hi to Amy, who would like a shot at your cash this morning. Good morning, Amy.
Hello, good morning.
Happy $500 Fridays to you.
Happy Friday to you all.
You're going to battle anyone here on the show. If you battle Allie, it could be worth $500. If you battle any of us, it's only worth $100, but we're probably easier since we don't read the news as much as she does. So it's up to you. Who would you like to play against?
I would love to play Allie.
Okay.
It's
this
all
is exciting. Allie's going to leave the KROQ studios now, sequester herself. She will not hear these questions. You get to answer them first. Please be quick, confident, and accurate in your answer so we can give you a sweet payday to the tune of a $500 Friday. Your round of Allie Knows the News starts now.
Allie Knows the News.
The FDA recently recalled over 44,000 pounds of what delicious treat because apparently it's full of listeria. What did the FDA recall 44,000 pounds of? Amy.
Ground beef.
Oh, man. It's not time for burger season. That would be terrible. Go to question number 2. Sadly, this MTV VJ has passed away after a battle with breast cancer. Pretty young. Which VJ is no longer with us?
Williams.
All right, just guess a name. We go with that. Go to question number 3. Big announcement for one of the finest athletes that ever was and ever will be. Competitive eater Joey Jaws Chestnut has just made a pretty big announcement. What was it?
He's retiring from eating hot dogs.
Go to question number 4. Gen Z is apparently swapping out their smartphones for this throwback tech because they are attempting to do a social media detox. What throwback technology is now very popular?
Oh, man. Pagers?
Pagers. And finally, question number 5. In the world of entertainment, This is pretty exciting. Bill Pullman, Mel Brooks, and Rick Moranis are returning for a new version of what movie?
The Goonies.
All right. Just saw The Goonies, I think, was released something like 40 years ago last week or some crazy number
Same
like
one
that.
you're talking about.
Makes you feel very old. Oh, the same one, the movie I'm talking about, also 40 years old?
Yeah,
That's
also born in East LA.
crazy. All right. Don't give anything else away. Allie could hear. Hold on. You're battling Amy. It's $500 on the line. Allie's not happy about it, but we do have a jingle. And once we have a jingle, there's no turning back. Remember, Klein had to pierce his nipple because we had a stupid jingle about it. And next thing you know, I'm piercing my nipple. And I did pierce my nipple.
Yay, there's another one.
Not doing that. Go to question number 1, Allie. The FDA has just recalled over 44,000 pounds of what delicious treat because it has listeria.
Cookie dough?
All right. She said ground beef. Allie said cookie dough. It's 44,000 pounds of shrimps.
Shrimps?
We love shrimps, but it's no longer... That's going to be tough now. It's so much shrimp that's just going to be destroyed. It's so disappointing. That's a lot of shrimp. 44,000.
Do you think that's a delicious snack?
Yeah, treat. Delicious treat. Shrimp's
Is a shrimp?
Shrimp's a treat, baby. If you're getting a shrimp, it's a treat.
Shrimp, I feel like, is such a, I guess I'll just have shrimp.
What are you talking about? I give all the trick-or-treaters shrimp in my neighborhood. Everyone loves shrimp. They say trick or shrimp in
It tastes
my
like
house.
nothing.
It's great. You dip it into that little red sauce, cocktail sauce.
Oh, God.
It's great.
I would never call shrimp a treat.
When is it not a treat?
I would think dessert or some kind of a thing you find in the snack aisle.
She guessed ground beef, so she didn't get thrown off, but regardless.
That's more of a treat than shrimp.
No, it's not.
Ugh.
Shrimp is a special
Shrimp
occasion
cocktail?
food. Yeah, special occasion.
Ugh. If shrimp cocktail got delivered at your table, you'd say, what a delicious treat.
Yeah, say, wow, who ordered the treat? That's what I say. Question number 2, no one gets the point. This MTV VJ, sadly, has passed away after a battle with breast cancer. Pretty young, too.
God, yeah, what was her name? Ananda?
Do you have a last name, or are you just going to go with that?
I think the eyes say it. Ananda.
All right. Ananda Lewis passed away.
Lewis.
I will give Allie a half a point. Not that it really matters.
I used to watch her all the time, man. I got kind of bummed out about that one.
I'm bummed out too, man. I remember she was right in the heyday of the MTV, and she was a good one. Some of those VJs really bothered me, but I always liked her.
Oh,
she was no Jessie Camp, but
I didn't really watch.
All right, question number 3. Big announcement from competitive eater Joey Jaws Chestnut, one of the finest athletes that ever was and ever will be. What was the announcement that Joey Chestnut has made?
That he is coming back to the Nathan's hot dog eating contest.
Yes, that is correct. Took a year off. 4th of July hot dog eating contest. She guessed that he wanted to retire, but that is not the case because he's the throat goat, the original throat goat. And so we move on to question number 4. Allie's up 1.5 points. Gen Z is swapping out their smartphones for this throwback tech.
Blackberries.
That is correct. The Blackberries making a comeback. You got one of them Blackberries in your drawers, or you used to know some fancy Wall Street broker that's got a Blackberry just sitting there collecting dust. Let's juice that thing up and start using them. People are paying good money for those now. Final question, not that it matters. Mel Brooks and Bill Pullman, Rick Moranis will be working on this new version of what?
Spaceballs.
That is the correct answer.
One of the best movies ever.
I think they've announced a bunch of stuff about it, including more cast and I think shooting dates and all that stuff. Well, anyway, Amy.
Yeah, by the way, that movie came out 38 years ago, not 40.
Dude.
Oh, Jake, you're wrong, son. You're done, son.
Actually, no, Mel Brooks said 40, and by the time it comes out, it will be 40 years old.
You're done, son. You didn't. That's not what you
it's
said.
going to come out in 2027, but it came out 38 years ago. You said it came out 40 years ago.
From Mel Brooks, 40.
Sorry, Amy.
When it gets released in 2027.
Okay.
Jake's wrong.
Yeah, you're wrong.
Jake, you're
Admit
wrong.
it.
Everyone heard it.
I go 40.
Everyone on the text line, let us know if Jake was right or wrong. He claimed 40 years. He's off by 2 years. Massive amount of time.
I stand with Mel Brooks.
What must you shamefully admit over the airwaves of KROQ, Amy, as Allie puts your money back in her pocket?
Oh, man. My name's Amy, and Allie knows the news.
Yeah, I'm not happy about it either. But at least
effort.
we can all agree a couple things here. Jake is wrong, and shrimp is a treat.
That's right.
Let's just pretend this now.
text yesterday from my wife, and I was convinced that the text, and I will read exactly what it said, was an indication that we were about to have sex. And I was excited about it for multiple reasons. Obviously, whenever I get that opportunity, you better believe I'm ready to go. Always ready.
Were you like on your way home, or?
I was downstairs.
Oh,
is that how it normally works with you? It's like you get a text of something?
No, but once in a while she will send a text, and it'll be like a flirty sort of text, or at least I read it that way. And then I sometimes just
for example,
she'll say things like,
"What do you want for dinner?"
Pick me up a matcha.
Yeah, like that sort of stuff. When are you going to be home? You know, those things. She said the following. I'm going to read this exactly as it was written, because the fact that I'll put it this way. I got the text. I said, we're having sex. I went up to where she was, ready to have sex, and she said, what the hell are you doing? And I said, what do you mean, what am I doing? Did you see what you just wrote me? And she goes, yeah. I go,
Is this that situation where, like, you know how you guys were driving and then she saw that billboard and was like, I'm dying for sex, and then you were like, let's go?
Yes, and then it was that stupid show.
Yeah.
It's similar to that, but this one was the following. Get home quick. The kids are out of the house. We can have some fun.
Oh.
Hello?
Yeah, no, that is explicit.
Right. What else? So I assume, I don't even assume, that means...
We can have some fun.
Yeah, so then...
And then if she knows you at all, she knows what your definition of fun is, and it's that.
Yeah, she's not like an avid ping pong player or something like that, right?
Well, yesterday...
It's time to pickle.
Yeah.
That's what I thought it was time to pickle. I was excited for pickling. I get if anyone got that text, I mean, I'm being serious. I'm starting to feel like I'm crazy.
Too.
You would think that, right?
Yeah, I would.
Get
and
home
I'm usually
quick.
against
The kids are not home. We can have some fun.
Mm-hmm.
So then I go, great. I'm ready.
Did you have any questions
fun.
About where your children were? Or?
No, they didn't even ask. That's day
the
two.
The kids aren't home. Great.
Day 2 of summer. I've lost them already. So
you get home. So you're racing.
So I get home. I run upstairs. I'm getting myself on the headspace. Time to go.
Trying to get your heart rate down after climbing the stairs.
Got to perform for 35 seconds. Got to really give it to her. And she's fully dressed and has and like, you know, getting ready for the day. Like you know, getting ready. And I'm like, what?
Getting ready for life. All right.
I'm like, what is going on here? Are you dyslexic? These clothes are going the wrong way, you know? And she goes, why? She goes, why? I said, you said we're going to have fun. The kids aren't here. She goes, yeah. I thought we could go for like a walk with the dog or something.
Oh, a walk?
And I said, that's not fun.
I mean, it is nice.
That's not fun at all.
No, a nice walk on a summer day.
I said, I thought we were having sex. She goes, why would you think that? I said, you said the kids aren't here. Get home quick. We can have some fun.
Yeah, you can go on a walk with your children.
Because you said get home quick, it felt like there was a time crunch.
Uh-huh.
There's no time crunch for... She goes, yeah, I have a work call in about 25 minutes, so I thought we could go do something fun, like walk the dog. I said, that's...
Do something fun like that you have to do every day anyway?
Yeah. Well, usually I take the dog out, or she does. We don't really ever do it together.
Oh, so she's taking...
But it's not fun. I said, there's nothing fun about walking with you.
No, and you're like, and guess what? We could have sex and still have 24 minutes to walk the dog.
Yeah. Yeah, more than that even. So she was like, why does everything that you think is fun sex? And then she said, which I found very hurtful after she got all like offended that I assumed that's what she meant.
If I wanted to have fun, why would I be doing that?
No.
Oh.
Thanks, Allie. She said, don't worry, you'll get it on Father's Day.
Oh.
But like real, like she wasn't excited.
Oh, like eye-rolly?
Yeah.
Don't worry, you pervert.
Right.
I'll fulfill your weird sexual needs on Sunday.
And I was like, huh.
Like she has to gear herself up for days, I bet.
Yeah.
She has to like really mentally psych herself up.
Can't wait for her to cancel.
Yeah, I feel like Father's Day is going to be another dog walk time. You know, it's like, that's going to be fun. So anyway, just be 100% valid. Everyone's saying that's not fun. Thank you for defending me.
I would never say we could have some fun when I think of going for a walk.
Right. Like if you know,
that sounds nice. Like we could do something nice. That's not something fun.
Well, when we
something
get back,
fun would be like fireball shots.
When we get back from this break, something fun is in store for you. It's the news. Yay!
Klein Alley Show, officially banned from your family pool party. Into the pool! Yeah! Unofficially in your ears all summer with new summer hours, live till 11.
KROQ.
Klein Alley Show.
The world famous Klein Alley Show. KROQ. KROQ.
Shopping.
going to see if Johnny knows anything about women at 800-520-1067. Will Johnny know about women?
No!
We got a game played, ready to go. Some serious questions. Historic women, women's body parts, lots of things that you would hope Johnny would know.
That's what the questions you've come up with are women's body parts?
No, historical women, and then there's a few
body parts?
A few body part questions.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
all you
We don't have a lot
want
of
to do
time.
to celebrate women is history and body parts?
What else is there, Allie? I mean, let's be honest.
Okay.
Let's get into it. It's time for Johnny Doesn't Know. Hit it.
Johnny doesn't know.
And I was like, okay.
Oh, Johnny doesn't know.
I didn't know Vegas was like in Nevada for like a while.
Johnny doesn't know. Johnny doesn't know.
Gelato sounds like Jello.
Johnny doesn't know.
It like goes wiggles.
Tickets up for grabs to see the Kings and the Rangers battle on the ice at Crypto.com Arena on March 25th. Everyone who gets theirs right, Allie will write your name down. One of you will be selected to win the tickets. And you don't need to know the answers. You just need to guess whether or not Johnny will know the answers. And these are all questions about women. We start with David in Garden Grove. Make our way up and down these phones at 800-520-1067 for Johnny Doesn't Know Women. All right, Johnny, are you prepared? I know that women like you a lot, but maybe you have not been paying attention.
Yeah, I pay attention. Or I try to, at least.
The first question we have in this exciting edition of Johnny Doesn't Know is as follows. Johnny, Helen Keller was an author
Oh, my God.
and an inspiration for so many.
What's wrong with Helen Keller? Give her a chance.
Well, that is the question, actually. What's wrong with Helen Keller? So, Helen Keller was an author and an inspiration for so many because she overcame what challenges? Johnny. Hold on, don't answer. David, will Johnny know?
Won't know.
Johnny will or will not?
Will not.
Will not. He says Johnny won't know. Johnny, your question is Helen Keller, inspiration, author, overcoming what challenges? He says you will not know.
I know that song. Remember when we were kids, that song, it's like, shush, girl, shut your lips. Do the Helen Keller and talk with your hips.
Right.
Talk with your hips means she can't talk. She's probably deaf. So I think maybe when she's like, talk with your hips means she's deaf or she's blind. One of the two.
One of the two.
Yeah. She's got some
Come on,
sort of
you didn't learn about Helen
disability.
Keller in school?
The one that hid from the Nazis?
No, that's Anne Frank.
Oh, my God.
Wrong woman, huh?
Yes.
Yikes. That was a toughie. Come on, there's like two
It would
historical
have been
women.
so hard for Helen Keller to hide from the Nazis.
There's only two historical women.
She thinks she's
Am I
hiding.
behind a couch? I don't know.
I was just sitting in the middle of the living room. Helen, that's not a good hiding spot.
I can't tell them I'm not here.
All right.
Let's go with blind. Let's go with blind.
All right.
What is blind?
She is blind and deaf, Johnny.
Yes, double duo,
And
baby.
mute.
Let's go. And mute?
Yeah, I
She
don't
was
know.
blind, deaf, and
I don't
mute.
even know if we can give that to Johnny because David. I'm going to say David got it right. I mean, Johnny knew part of it, but
She's the most famous for having multiple.
Yes.
yeah, multiple
Not just
issues.
one.
She's dope, bro.
All right. Johnny doesn't understand he didn't get that right. David, hold on. You got yours right. We'll give you the point on that. Johnny doesn't know women. Let's say hi to Erica. Erica, you are a woman, correct?
Mine doesn't either with these questions. I mean,
Erica, how
this is
are
not
you?
someone famous for being a woman.
I'm good. How about you?
She's a famous woman, Allie. What, you got a problem with the
She's not
questions?
famous for being a woman. She's famous for being blind, deaf, and mute.
That sucks, bro.
Perfect woman, right? Huh? Who's with me? Erica, here we go. Rosie the Riveter is known
There we go.
for this 4-word phrase. Will Johnny know this, yes or no?
No.
Okay. Erica, a woman, says she has very little confidence in you. Johnny, Rosie the Riveter is known for this 4-word phrase. What is it? She says you will not know.
Does the exclamation point count as a word?
Whoa.
Because I'm thinking 3 words, but I'm like, are you trying to trick me with like the exclamation point as a word? Because it's yes, we can, or we can do it. So we can do it, probably. Yeah, we can do it. We can do it. That, yeah.
Can we?
Yeah, I think we could. Is it we can do it?
Is that your final answer?
We can do it! Exclamation point.
And she said you would not know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Johnny, you have proven, just like
You've
women,
proven that women are wrong.
we can do it. Sorry, Erica, you are a woman and you don't know women. We move on and we say
That has nothing to do with it.
it has a little to
She
do with
doesn't
it.
know Johnny.
What the hell?
I'm just kidding. You know plenty about women. Daniel, here we go.
gosh.
Daniel, welcome to Johnny Doesn't Know Women. Here we go. It's International Women's Day.
Oh my gosh.
NetBanger shout out on YouTube watching
NetBanger.
live. Here we go. Johnny, here's the question. What is the scientific name for boobies? What is the scientific name for boobies? Will Johnny know the answer to this? Daniel, yes or no?
Johnny's a ladies' man. You know, I'm just going to go yes. I know we're supposed to go no, but I'm just going to go yes.
All right, he says you will know this. Only one person has predicted correctly so far. Johnny's scientific name for boobies. Sweet knockers. It's not it, Klein.
Is it breast, or gyno? Like gynecomastia?
What are you saying?
Gynecomastia is man boobs. And the gyno meant
so
women.
you think that the medical term for boobies is man boobs?
First of all, boobies is a slang term. It's not even a medical term.
That's right. That's why I'm asking you, what is the medical term for boobs?
Breast.
Okay.
Gyno. Breast.
Gyno
Just
breast.
drop the gyno stuff.
Stop it. Daniel, unfortunately, that is not the scientific. The scientific term for boobs is mammary
glands. Mammary glands.
So Johnny did not know that
Breast is
one.
kind of political.
Political?
I mean, what's it called? Medical. It's a medical scientific term.
I did get a thing in the mail saying that I need a breast exam.
Yes.
But, yeah, it is called a mammogram.
If you want to
because
get
it is your
scientific
mammaries.
with it,
The answer was scientific, Johnny. You didn't get the point.
Well,
Matt,
all right, I give
Moreno
it that.
Valley. One final person gets a shot at this. And
I'm
only
going to lock in on no.
Yeah, we only had the one girl as a contestant.
All right,
Yeah,
you
jeez.
let me
call.
Let me give a woman an opportunity.
Yes, there you
Hold
go.
on. Let me say hi to Michelle in Buena Park. Okay, Michelle, I'm sorry. Let's give more ladies a chance to win. Hey, we're celebrating you women today. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, what's your name?
Yeah.
All right, great. Here we go.
Hi, honey.
Let's go with this one. Amelia Earhart, Johnny, was the first woman to do what? Will Johnny know this, yes or no, Michelle?
I want to say no.
Okay. Johnny, Amelia Earhart was the first woman to do what?
She flew an airplane. She first female pilot, and then she was the first one to go missing, too.
I don't know if she was the first pilot to go missing.
But she was known for going missing. They still can't find her to this day.
Yeah. Right.
So she's an airplane pilot, and she went missing. Bada bing.
Technically, she was the first pilot to fly solo across the Atlantic. She's not the first female pilot either.
Wow.
But that's okay.
Wow.
I will say you did not know that. All right, Allie. Michelle and Matt. Michelle and David both got theirs right. Who's going to win the tickets to see the Kings?
Come on, I'm going with Michelle. You know this.
Yeah.
Nope, we lost her. David, congratulations.
Typical, can't commit.
Michelle, I'm just kidding. You'll be going to see the L.A. Kings play hockey in March. Hold on 1 second, all right?
Awesome.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Thank you, and happy International Women's Day to you. I know it's a day early, but always better a day early than a day late with the ladies, right?
Good to be a woman.
That's
Yeah.
right. Back after this quick break, more show next. Everyone's mind. Just how famous is Joshua Jackson? We sent Jake into the streets to find out if he truly is the Hollywood A-lister that Allie believes he is.
He
and
is.
The results will surprise you, or they perhaps will not at all. We'll get to that coming up next hour, and lots to give you this morning on the show. Giant TV. See what it looks like up on the socials of Klein Alley Show. We've been delivering these now to the winners, and your Father's Day will never be the same once you get a 98-inch TV from TCL. It's the QM6K. The amount of meetings we've had.
When are you going to get this right,
I don't
dude?
know, dude. It's too many letters. It's giant. It's a beautiful TV. And once again, it's the QM6K. It's nothing better. And we'll give one away later today to you for the return of, we've done Mother Knows Best. We've never done Father Knows Best. So
Yeah.
there'll be an opportunity for us to do that. Connecting you with your dad. If he still takes your calls, you can end up scoring yourself or him a TV. The choice is yours. Right now, though, your news.
Grab your Adderall. It's time for ADD News.
Is there any better survivor story than the one of this man on the Air India flight? It truly is like the movie Unbreakable. It is a miracle that this guy is alive. Vishwas Kumar Ramesh. He was traveling with his brother, and his mom now has to deal with being heartbroken over losing one son, but overjoyed at the miracle survival story of the other one. And I imagine that now seat 11A will be the most booked seat on any airplane. It is the lucky seat. That's where he was sitting. He was either near an exit row or in an exit row, but he was very close to the exit. And when the plane was going down, which was, again, 1 minute after takeoff, he was able to open the exit door and jump out of the plane. And we don't know exactly when he jumped. Was it like right before the impact, or was it in the seconds after? But his brother was in a different row. And as for the crash itself, they've got one of the two black boxes, and it seems to indicate that, I mean, they haven't looked at the black box, but it seems like some of the videos and everything leading up shows evidence that they lost power. And I guess before takeoff, none of the screens were working, the AC wasn't working, and there was some kind of a power issue. And this is the first crash ever for this type of plane. The good news, and this is very morbid, but it is good news, there are less fatalities than they originally reported. They had said 292, but then they realized they had been double counting some of the body parts.
Oh, man. That's tough.
So, yeah, they realized, now that we've figured all this out, it's back down to the 240s. But this guy will be famous for the rest of his life.
The balls on that guy. Think about, you're on a plane, it's going down.
Think of the quick decision you have to make.
You make the call. Am I going to open this door and jump out of this plane right now, knowing that could be game over? I mean, because sometimes you don't know. That plane was going. It didn't look like, I saw the video. It's really hard to watch, but it actually, it looks like if you're just watching it, it's
a regular takeoff.
It's taking off regular, but then it's kind of coming down smoothly and evenly. It's not like it's nosediving down. So
and then
maybe
you see it disappear from you, and then
maybe you're on the plane going, I guess we're just going to land again. I've been on some planes before that have had to do the aborted takeoff. They start to take off, and then all of a sudden they kind of take it back down. So to think in that moment, like, I'm going to make the call to open this door and jump out.
And I would imagine that because it happened so quickly, I don't even know if they had time to make an announcement to the passengers.
No,
to tell them to brace or do anything.
It didn't look like, if they didn't have any power on board, who's to say? Although I did see a ton of comments. And so there's all these, all of a sudden everyone's an aviation expert because they go like, well, clearly the flaps were not raised enough to get the proper amount of altitude. Like all these, and then some other guys like, what do you know about anything? He's like, trust me, I know
flaps.
I know flaps. Like everyone's just an expert, and it's just a tragic situation. It's terrible. It's scary.
Yeah, but it's also incredible that this guy's going to have a ton of survivor's guilt, and he's married, he has a kid. Like, it's incredible that he is the one survivor. But think about how you would act in that situation, and I wouldn't even be able to open the emergency exit.
Like, I don't want to get in trouble. I'll just die.
I know. I'm like, but I'm not supposed to. Yeah. And even the lift the lever thing. Like, I think you have to push pretty hard against that thing to even open it.
Well, you do give consent before the flight if you're in the emergency row that you'll open the door if there's an emergency.
Yeah. Now they do a verbal. You have to say yes.
Have to say yes.
Yeah.
So everyone's going to pluck their little AirPods out of their ears and pretend they're paying attention.
He's probably the only one who was paying attention.
Yeah. Someone said yesterday, we were talking about it. Someone said we found the one guy that actually read the safety manual before the plane.
I was like, let me learn about this plane. This 787.
It is crazy. And we just heard that Blink song a moment ago. And remember, obviously Travis Barker survived that plane crash where people died. And he said that survivor's guilt thing, man, that is a real thing.
Yeah,
and that takes a toll on you.
All right, you're only as good as your next collab, and Linkin Park has one to go right along with their new From Zero tour. Linkin Park Gummy Bears. The band loves Haribo. They love them some Haribo. So they have done a collab to go with the tour. They've designed their own candy pieces. The band logo is on one of them, and then they each personalized a gummy bear for their band. Like each member of the band, like Emily has a microphone, Dave's bass, and they have the flavors orange, peach, cola, apple, raspberry, and cherry flavors. And I would imagine it's a powerful feeling to have a big company like that come to you and say, design whatever you want. It's a lot of pressure. Yeah. I know for you, when they do that Lay's potato chip flavor contest,
I got screwed.
You take it very seriously.
Yeah, well, the first year of it, I got screwed. I gave them the winning flavor, and they gave it credit to someone else. I was the first person to submit chicken and waffles Lay's potato chips. Look it up. It's on record. And they gave it to some woman in another state.
You're so mad.
Yeah, because it's crazy.
Look it up, all right?
I just looked it up. You're not the first one.
Jake, I am the first one. You didn't look it up. I'm telling you right now. I know when this.
Not Klein.
Jake, you're wrong. I don't even want to start now. I get so mad about this.
You submitted shrimp as a treat.
I didn't.
Lay's shrimp treat.
Shrimp treat chips. First day of the contest, I gave them chicken and waffles because of my love of Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, the Carol C number 13.
Yeah, you're the 50th person to
And
do that.
I was the first one to do it, and then this woman won in another state, and she had and I found the
She
woman.
had a great story.
I tracked her down.
Oh,
yeah,
my
'cause-
God.
Oh, I tracked this woman
Why
down.
am I the Karen on the show?
And I said to this woman, hey, so you're a Chicken and Waffles fan too? She goes, I never even had Chicken and Waffles. Woman never even had it in her life.
So she just,
Her
did she even know
husband-
they were like, oh.
Her husband was a firefighter or some BS like that. And as a result, they picked her, and I'm livid. I
Because
really,
you don't have a cool job or anything that's like impressive to
I'm
say.
going to add Lay's to my enemy list. And that was years ago, and it stuck with me.
Klein, think about shrimp as a ramen flavor. It's the least desirable.
Mm.
You can't go
Shrimp's
all in on shrimp.
Treat. K-Rock, new hour starts next, K-Rock.
Is the world famous KROQ.
Oh yeah, welcome to your weekend Klein Alley show on K-Rock. It's a Friday morning. It's been a very emotionally draining week here in Southern California and beyond. Lots of stuff going on. In fact, later this morning, I'm going to talk to one of the spokespeople for LA Taco, which is a fantastic social media account if you're not following. Focuses on pretty much, I mean, they cover a lot of food in Southern California, but a lot of taco-related stuff and just the impact that everything that's been going on with the ice raids is having on the food truck, the taco stand. I mean, this is where it hits us all. And so we will be chatting with them a little bit later this morning to get a sense of that. Of course, between now and
taco trucks are being abandoned, right?
some of them being abandoned. Others, by the way, are stepping up and saying if you have been affected or if you're in hiding or whatever it is, we will give you free food. So if you need to grab food and bring it to someone else. So it's really interesting how it all eventually comes back to tacos.
Or as a person who has the privilege to feel safe right now, go visit a taco truck. Give them your money. They need it.
Yeah, and poor Allie does that white people taco night crap with yogurt and ground turkey. I mean, it's no good. That's
Greek yogurt.
Biggest shame. God. This hour on the show,
mild taco seasoning.
We'll do some Generation Wars, try to give you bragging rights. I believe the last time we did this, Boomers reigned supreme, but there's another Generation War brewing, so we will get into Generation Wars. It's a funny war, unlike the other ones that are happening in America and outside in the world, so we will get to that coming up this hour on the show. And when we get back, we will answer the age-old question. Is Joshua Jackson an A-lister? Allie believes he is, through and through. So we sent Jake into the streets to find out if that is true. And there is just a ton of reaction from all sorts of different people. And we will get to the social experiment about A-listers in the year 2025 next on KROQ. and Ellie Show. We live in an interesting time where I think universally people used to agree on who were the A-listers of the world, and usually they were monster movie stars, big movie stars, like the Denzels and the George Clooney's and the Brad Pitts, and you know, you could even argue like Jennifer Aniston or Meryl Streep. You're going to go old school with it. And now we live in this weird time where A-lister means different things to different people. And apparently, according to Allie, A-lister means Joshua Jackson.
I don't think I ever said A-lister from the beginning.
Well, this is what you said at the beginning, and then we sent Jake to do some street science to figure out, because you doubled down yesterday, earlier in the week, when you said that you believe that you were right, because he's in the new Karate Kid movie, that you were right all along, and we're a bunch of out-of-touch idiots. But this was the original conversation that happened on KROQ many months ago.
A lot of these big studios, they kind of reserve lots of millions of dollars for like one or two really big actors. Okay, we're going to have Joshua Jackson in this new show. We're going to spend all of our money on him,
It's
and then
funny
the
that
other ones kind of lose out.
Jackson is your example of a big-name actor.
He is a big-name actor.
I mean,
wait a minute. What? Could have gone with George Clooney,
yeah,
Brad
there's
Pitt,
so many go-to big-name actors, and you go from Dawson's Creek.
Dawson's Creek.
That's your big-name actor? Quote, studios are holding onto a reserve of money so that they can hire the big-name actors like Joshua Jackson.
Okay.
Is the craziest sentence I've ever heard in my life. So Allie's been standing by that because, you know, she never backs down from an argument. So we sent Jake into the streets. The fact that we had to send Jake into the streets with a microphone to ask people if they were familiar with Joshua Jackson.
Klein, I've thought of that because he's done a lot of successful shows.
No,
he has a very storied
I get
career.
it. I just think it's funny when you go for the one example you're going to give for your story about how, you know, the Hollywood industry is reserving a bunch of money to get the big names. That's the one
He
you
is
went
a
with.
big name.
So let's find out if the street agrees. It's time for street science.
You are now about to witness the strength of street
science. So I'm going to just play these until you tell me to stop. And this was Jake, and he was all over the streets of Southern California yesterday. And this is...
But before we play this, even if there are people who don't know who Joshua Jackson is and they're living under a rock, there are people who still don't know who Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston are. So, like you said at the beginning, A-lister is now very subjective.
Yeah, here we go. Let's find out.
What's your name?
My name is Donovan.
Donovan, do you know who Joshua Jackson is?
Joshua Jackson. Yes, if I ask Siri, I'll be able to figure it out.
So you don't know?
No.
If you had to guess, what do you think Joshua Jackson is famous for?
Joshua Jackson stands for?
No, what he's famous for.
What he's famous for? His last name, Jackson.
He's part of the Jackson clan?
I think so.
All right, so we're 0 for 1.
All right, well, whatever. That's just one guy and whatever crackhead he was hanging out with.
So that person doesn't know, but maybe this person does.
I'm Abby from downtown LA.
Abby, do you know who Joshua Jackson is?
I couldn't say that I do, no.
If you had to guess what he's famous for, what would you guess?
Sports somehow.
What sport does he play?
I feel like basketball.
Yeah. Could you tell me the name of an A-lister? Who you consider an A-lister?
An A-lister, like any celebrity?
Yeah.
I would say Sabrina Carpenter.
Oh, that's not a good example.
Well, she's she's
an A-lister right now.
In the world of music right now, she's an A-lister.
Yeah, but that's, I don't think...
She's no Joshua
When you
Jackson.
think of an A-lister, you think of like a household name like Joshua Jackson.
Right. Well, clearly everyone does think that. Here's the third person. I mean, Allie, I've got 50 of these I could play.
Yeah, whatever. I'm sure you're just only going to play the no's.
I'm playing all of them.
Jake, I'm sure you got lots of yeses,
I'm playing them in order from top to bottom. Top to bottom.
Can you tell me who Joshua Jackson is?
That guy was an MMA fighter.
All right, we're getting closer now. This guy out, we're proving the point. A-lister.
In the tank out, I don't know who he is. Joshua Jackson. Joshua Jackson. He was here tonight. I think he was here tonight, wasn't he? Joshua? No, it wasn't. Joshua, what is he? I don't know what he is.
He's famous. What do you think he's famous for?
Not for being a good bartender, or thought, no, I would know him. He's my best friend.
So, all right, this guy clearly
Joshua
is,
Jackson is his best friend.
This guy's clearly hammered right now, but he has still never heard of him. He's starting to get aggressive, too.
Joshua Jackson. I don't know. Was he in the, like the A-team?
Was he on the A-team? That's a great guess.
He went from being an MMA fighter to on the A-team.
Yeah.
It just shows that he's a transformational actor.
Right, except this guy has never heard of him, but maybe this person has, Allie.
What's your name?
Mateo.
Can you tell me who Joshua Jackson is?
Come on, Mateo.
I could not tell you who Joshua Jackson is.
Come on.
If you had to guess why he's famous, what would you guess?
Music-wise?
That's my guess.
Yeah. What kind of music do you think he plays?
Jazz kind of style.
Okay,
He's
so
a jazz musician.
we're not doing great so far.
No one has even said he's an actor.
No, that my point is that your gauge is so off on so many things.
He's a household name in some households.
All right, well, let's find out. Another person, Jake, a simple question. Who is Joshua Jackson? You'd think an A-lister, at least, I would say 9 out of 10 have to know who the person is to be an A-lister, maybe even 10 out of 10. So we're not off to a good start.
What's your name?
My name is Ava DeFranco.
Where are you from?
I'm from Austin, Texas.
All right, maybe we find someone in another state, right? These California people, they're too cool to know who Joshua Jackson is.
Can you tell me who Joshua Jackson is?
No, sir, I cannot.
Just immediately.
It's all nice with the seven.
If you had to guess why he's famous, what would you guess?
Probably the porn industry.
Sure.
Okay.
What do you think his porn name is?
Charlie Bronco.
All right, so we've moved away now. Allie, we're not moving. Not
We've
moving
gone
in
to
the right
every
direction.
other field now, other than actor.
Here's another person that Jake approached.
What's your name?
JR.
JR from where?
Here, from LA.
JR, have you ever heard of Joshua Jackson?
No.
If you had to guess what Joshua Jackson is famous for, what would you say?
Pedophile. I don't know. I wouldn't know. I don't know who that is.
Can you give me an example? Who do you think is a Hollywood A-lister?
Ben Affleck.
He's right. That's a great example. Ben Affleck.
Sure, Ben Affleck is an A-lister. I get
an A-lister.
that. Yeah, Oprah would be another A-lister.
Yeah, now you're good at coming up with them just during that one
and
time.
Joshua Jackson.
No.
818, I'm chronically online and I have no idea who this is. Another person said, I just Googled him and I literally couldn't name one thing that he is in.
It's just so funny that in your mind, this is someone that you claimed that we asked you, if we send Jake in the streets, how many people will know who Joshua Jackson is? You said most people.
323, I think that drunk guy was thinking of Rampage Jackson.
Perhaps he was, but it's okay. It happens.
Was A-Team and MMA.
All right, so do you need me to play more of these? Hold on,
Come
Jake.
on, go through until you can find one yes.
Jake,
There's one yes, I know.
I think Jake said he found one person. Hold on.
What's your name?
My name's Candace.
Candace, do you know who Joshua Jackson is?
I had the biggest crush on him when I was like, I don't know, 19.
So here we found someone.
Yeah?
Yes.
So do you know who Joshua Jackson is?
Pacey.
He's a pedophile.
Yeah.
Would you consider Joshua Jackson an A-lister?
No.
Now, there you have it, Allie. The person that's heard of him still says not an A-lister.
661 said, respect for Joshua Jackson. He is a national treasure and 100% an A-list celebrity.
Vanessa, make it our top priority to get Joshua Jackson on this show. If we have a slow day, we'll let him come on with us, and we will ask him. We'll ask him if
Come on.
if he thinks he's an A-lister or not. And I bet you even he will confirm he's not an A-lister.
323, Allie is single-handedly making him famous.
Really, just this bit. I think we have to do this bit weekly. Who is Joshua Jackson? This could be our next thing. I mean, it's really remarkable if you think about it.
He's going to really blow up online. Everyone's just like Google searches of 2025 all of a sudden shot up with everyone looking up Joshua Jackson.
What's your name?
Julia.
Julia, can you tell me who Joshua Jackson is?
No.
There you go.
We have to make show shirts that have his picture.
Yeah.
And say, who is this?
Who is this? By an Alley Show. Quick break. We're back in a moment. When we return, Generation Wars is up. If you'd like to battle out for your generation, give us a call, 800-520-1067. Bragging rights and a tiny towel could be yours next.
Starting tonight at 7, KROQ is offering you The Contract to enter an exclusive agreement for legally binding night of 21 Pilots.
We're 21 Pilots and we don't approve of that.
Yeah, but KROQ does. Here are the terms. Listen all weekend for the code word to text for your chance to win your way in. And negotiate a pair of tickets to catch 21 Pilots live at BMO Stadium October 25th.
Taking my time on my ride. My friends are here, take it slow.
Don't initial the non-compete. Sign the contract and lock in your spot at the loudest clause ever drafted up. Courtesy of Live Nation.
The world famous KROQ.
Starting tonight at 7.
This weekend.
Lola Young, KROQ, what are you and Omar cackling about in here? I leave the room for 15 seconds to
Oh,
come
my
back.
God.
You guys are having a good old time.
Mm-hmm. Well, this has actually been something that's been in the works for, I think, a week or two now, and it was worth the wait. Omar, do you want to do the honors? Because I heard this on an episode of a true crime show that I was watching, and I thought, this has some sound bites in it that I know Omar, the audio sniper, could do a lot with. And, man, you delivered.
Thank you. So Klein, Allie sent me a clip of is it a podcast or is it a TV show?
It's Dateline.
Oh, it's a Dateline.
Dateline NBC.
So there's this audio, and Klein is the guy who, in the show, is
He's a person of interest at first, yes.
At a murder, right, in a murder case. And the audio, I felt like I could insert our own Klein into it and create a scene.
Yeah, great.
And,
just play it. All right, blah,
I think
blah.
it came out pretty
That's
good.
fine. Just
Klein,
play it.
Before you
That's
get
fine.
upset, he didn't end up being the killer. He just ended up being a pervert.
That's right.
Great.
That's true.
But he had almost exactly your name.
Win for me. I feel great. Thank you. I remember when you played the clip of this at the beginning. His name was what was Calvin?
His
Klein?
name was Kegan.
Kegan Klein.
Kegan
Klein.
Klein.
Sounds cool.
All right, great. Get ready for world premiere now. This is just some of Omar and his audio sniping at its finest. And apparently, according to Allie's reaction, I saw, boy, it's good.
Who is Klein?
Klein is the person that will solicit girls to send them pornographic photos.
Right. Oh, that is dirty.
Klein was a big, overweight,
I'ma eat it all. Yummy, yummy, yummy.
not somebody that these girls would talk to kind of person, so he changed who he was.
I'm a handicap.
Not long after that Peeping Tom incident, law enforcement raided Klein's home.
Well, I don't know.
He's a bad guy. He's a pathological liar. He would tell us something we'd look into and it'd be a lie. He lied a lot.
Hey, don't mind me. I'm just a young boy.
Klein seemed to have a strong alibi that he was in Vegas at the time of the murders.
Yeah.
When Court TV's Barbara McDonald learned Klein was in jail, she contacted him.
Man, I am horny now.
What happened?
He talked to me. He gave me an interview from jail. So, are you aware that there's a bunch of news stories out there linking you to the Delphi murders?
I don't have no
Okay.
thought.
You have admitted that you created this fake profile, Anthony Schatz. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Why did you create that profile?
I groomed a young boy.
But when it came to contact with Libby, Klein seemed evasive.
Are you aware whether you may have talked to Libby? Where were you on February 13th, 2017?
I like to smell parts of my girlfriend.
Did you have anything to do with the murders of Abby or Libby?
Me, such a bad boy.
And in the end, investigators couldn't prove he killed Abby and Libby.
We conducted a thorough investigation and ruled him out.
Another dead end.
Another dead end.
I'm boned up. I am boned up.
Klein would eventually plead guilty to 25 charges. He was sentenced to 40 years in prison.
Are you ready for the rear end? Okay, thank you. Good. What a wonderful tribute. Thank you, Omar.
You're welcome.
That was everything I could have imagined and more.
Star of Dateline.
I love the question answer section.
Can people with my name stop committing terrible crimes and giving
25 crimes.
25 crimes?
40 years in prison.
It's good to know that if I ever do get accused of doing any crimes, I'm just going to mumble instead of answer. All right, well played. That'll be
I'm a young boy.
instant hit. Shout out Omar, the audio sniper. OMG, this is everything. Wow.
Hashtag Dateline NBC.
Praise pouring through all over the text line for the great Omar Khan. I'm going to go rethink my alibi. And also, Vegas does sound fun right about now.
Yeah.
KROQ.
Klein Alley, Klein Alley Show.
KROQ, the world famous KROQ. KROQ.
Get your flowers pouring through on the text line. People saying, well done, audio sniper. That's why he's the best. That's just a... that's
so
not
many people
me.
with suggestions of other sound clips to use, too, which is great. 831 Omar, at the end of the clip where he gets sentenced, you also should add his puppy noises.
We don't need any more. It's fine as it is.
Yeah. He was sentenced to 40 years in prison.
Are you ready for the rear end? We don't need to add more sounds to it. It's fine.
714, oh my God, I fell off my chair. 949, I can't stop laughing. Kudos to Omar. Jake, take notes, Jake.
Let's not forget
early nomination for Song of the Year.
Not a song. and let's not forget for a moment, before we give all this glory to Omar, who's the guy that said all the dumb things during the story over the many years. Me.
Yeah,
you're trying to now take credit for this?
That's right. I didn't realize the audience would like it so much.
But who is an idiot?
Right.
First, me. That's who. And who is a pervert? The other Klein.
Yeah, let's not get confused here. I know there's new listeners don't understand that was a lot of clever editing, and they think that that's a real story. Oh, Klein was on Shark Tank and on Dateline? Wow.
Wow.
I was not on Dateline. That was a different guy with a different name and a different spelling, I believe. And Omar just got real clever with his
no, it wasn't different
witchcraft.
spelling.
Well, whatever. He did some sort of weird audio witchcraft and made me look like a real deviant.
Oh,
and I am a deviant.
Klein was the focus, but you're the star.
No, we're not playing it again. People demanding
we are
an encore.
absolutely playing that again.
I think it's been deleted, the file.
310, I'm at my desk stealthily watching the live stream.
All right.
I'm so glad I got to hear that at work. 310 OMFG, I'm crying. Stop, guys. I got to drive straight. This isn't safe.
Well, it's not real, so just understand that I did very few of those things. I mean, that guy sounds like he was living a fun life. I'll be honest, a little jealous. Went to Vegas and whatever, but...
Well, having watched the actual episode, I can say that you are much more attractive than Keg and Klein.
Thank you. I'll take that as a win. show, when there's actual wars happening in the world, you feel like you have no control over what will go on. But when there's a generation war brewing at KROQ, you better believe you have a chance to earn bragging rights for your entire generation. And regardless if you consider yourself a Gen Xer, a millennial, a Zennial, a Gen Zer, Generation Alpha, like you were a baby listening to the show right now, or a boomer, the most recent winner in the generation wars, Boomer, and we've never had a millennial winner.
Yeah,
which
I know.
is incredibly frustrating.
In fact, I think millennials have done the worst out of every generation every time we've played Generation Wars.
And whenever we get into this, everyone argues as to why their generation is the best. I think science, we found out last week, has declared that Gen X actually is the coolest generation for a variety of reasons.
And the happiest.
And the happiest, right? Meanwhile, everyone argues that, well, that's just what they want to tell themselves because they're, out of touch or they didn't evolve. But Gen Xers claim, I got the best of both worlds. I got to run around the neighborhood without being worried about getting kidnapped, and I could also figure out how the internet works.
Well, and as a millennial, we like to make a lot of excuses as to why we're not the top generation or the coolest or happiest. Because, we had to go through the 2008 economic crash, and then there was 9/11, and then there was COVID, and we had to deal with technology, and then no technology before that. We've had it hard, but every generation thinks they've had it hard.
Representing all of Gen X, born in, I believe, that would make her 79 or 80. Susie wants to represent Gen X. Susie claims that she remembers drinking. What did you do? Drinking with a hose?
What?
I don't know.
Drinking water out of the hose because we had to choose whether we were outside or inside for the day. So if we were outside, we only had water from the hose.
All right, so that was
like a dog.
A real Gen Xer thing, apparently.
Yeah.
And you one time successfully completed a Rubik's Cube. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely.
All
My
right.
brother used to hog the video games, so I had Rubik's Cubes.
All right. That is a real Gen Xer right there, through and through. And she would like to defend her generation. It will not be easy, though, Allie, because she's battling a representative. Let's move in order, and we go to now a millennial born in the mid-'80s now. She has got a tattoo.
Joshua Jackson.
Not Joshua Jackson, and is proud of the fact that she has 16,000 followers on Instagram, which that's all that matters if you're a millennial, right? How many people follow you? Michelle, good morning.
Good morning.
You are, were you born?
I was born in 85.
So you're an early millennial, and you will be representing millennials now. If you know the answer to the question I ask, you must yell out millennial to chime in first, but it's not going to be just you and a Gen Xer. We have to add a third into the mix. So representing Gen Z, we have Nathan. Nathan, what year were you born in?
2009.
And what is it that you do that makes you Gen Z?
I've one time stayed on the video game 24 hours without using the restroom.
Wow, that's pretty cool. What game were you playing?
That's impressive.
Fortnite back in 2020.
Really makes your Rubik's Cube accomplishment seem pretty lame, huh?
Yeah. I think the most Gen Z thing about you was when you said back in 2020.
Yeah, all the way back in 2020. All right.
The olden days.
Guys, you must yell out your generation to chime in first. We'll keep score. I've got a variety of questions here that should hit all of your generations, but maybe you steal questions that were intended for other generations. So here we go. What is chuggy?
Oh.
Millennial.
Nice.
Go ahead, millennial.
That is something that's gross and unattractive.
It's not exactly.
It gives you the ick. It gives you the ick.
Yeah, it can do that. Well, it's something that's kind of outdated, a little awkward.
Kind of basic bitchy, like Uggs.
I think you were in the right ballpark, but let me just go look in. Johnny, we going a thumbs up or thumbs down on that response? He gives a thumbs down. I'm so sorry.
Oh, man.
It's our Gen Z representative
Millennial
says we
was
cannot
off to a
accept
good
that.
start.
Moving on. Question 2. What collab sauce happened between McDonald's and Rick and Morty? What was it called?
Millennial.
Millennial, go ahead.
That was the
So millennial. She's good at yelling her name, but what
What do you
was
want
it?
from me? I lived through 2008.
Say it again. What's your answer?
It's the.
Cannot accept it. I'm sorry.
Come on.
Anyone want to steal that one? All right, Szechuan sauce. That was the big one. We move on. Question number 3.
Szechuan, that's right.
That's okay. In the song Opposites Attract, Paula Abdul rapped alongside of what animated cat? What was the name of the animated cat?
Millennial. Millennial.
I did hear millennial
Gen X.
first, but she
I know,
is good
I
at getting
think
it. Go ahead. What was the name of the cat?
Garfield. Gen X.
No, it's not Garfield. That is wrong.
Okay, Gen
X.
X.
Go ahead.
MC Scat Cat.
That is correct. On the board, MC Scat Cat has put Gen X in the lead, and Gen Z is just hanging back, waiting for his opportunity to strike. And we go to this next question. These are all over the place. You don't know when it will be your turn. What was the name of the coffee shop from the TV show Friends called?
Gen X.
Gen X, go ahead.
Central Perk.
There
All right, you're up 2-0 now. Yeah. Gen X is reigning supreme and running away with it. And we go to this next question. Why would you do a glow up?
Gen X.
Why would you not?
I like that.
Gen X, go ahead.
So you could look prettier.
Okay, I will accept that. Yes, that is a correct answer. We go to the next
I would
question.
also accept why would you not?
Right. Also,
yeah, why wouldn't you?
Go to the next question now. It's Generation Wars on KROQ.
Gen X sweeping so far.
Sweeping right now. What would you use to try to flip a pog or stack of pogs over?
Gen X.
Millennial.
Go ahead, Gen X.
Gen X, you got in
A
first.
slammer.
Slammer, she got it right. Wow, this is a runaway victory. I just want to check in on Gen Z. Are you still around or no?
Yeah, I'm lost.
Okay, you're not doing great so far. Here we go, moving on. It's too bad because some of these questions are technically all over the place. I mean, as far as, generations that the answer should know. Let's go with this one. Which band had their album preloaded on an iPhone?
Oh.
Millennial.
Go ahead, Millennial.
That was going to be Coldplay.
Oh, no.
Oh, my gosh. Michelle, you're so, confident and then wrong.
U2 was the band.
Oh, well, they both suck, so, I mean.
All right,
Everyone's like,
fair
oh,
enough. Yeah.
you too.
And I don't think it even matters, but I will ask the last two questions. At this point, I believe the generation war has come to an end, but who was Johnny Carson's sidekick on The Tonight Show?
Wow.
Oh, shit. Oh, shoot.
Can't say that word. That's all right. That was before you never know if a boomer's going to play or not, so we have to have some questions in for the boomers as well.
There's some boomer in his car
final
right now
question.
going how could they not know?
What was the first spin-off from the show Beverly Hills 90210?
Gen X.
Yeah.
Melrose Place.
That's correct.
Wow.
All right. Gen X, congratulations. Bragging rights for all Gen Xers out there. I'm so sorry. Nathan, you put up a total score of 0.
Oh, thank you.
Are you bothered by that at all? Or
No,
are you
he
cool?
doesn't care. He doesn't care.
He's still a little lost.
Oh, I'm too young for this.
All right, I get it. I hear you, dude, loud and clear. Hey, Millennial, you were great at yelling out Millennial. You were not great at getting the right answers, though, so I'm so sorry we have to say goodbye.
Thank you.
The winner of the Tiny Towel and bragging rights for at least a week goes to everyone in Gen X. Please celebrate accordingly. And people on the text line are livid because they say, I'm a Gen Z. I got all those right. I'm a millennial. I could answer every single one of those. But it doesn't matter. You didn't
play
get
next
through
time.
Susie, you and Gen X are celebrating now. And I will play any Gen X song of your choosing next on KROQ. What would you like to hear?
Pain by that one band.
All right.
And it peters out.
I'm gonna give you what I had in store for you anyway, which was the Cardigans' Love Fool on KROQ. Congrats.
That sounds perfect.
kids or you got a dad and maybe you don't care at all, but it is on Sunday. There's another reminder. We'll give away a giant TV coming up soon. It's a beautiful 98-incher.
This is our in-studio big TV.
I know.
I think that it's more important than the other TVs, and I think you and I should both rub ourselves on it before we give it away.
We will rub ourselves all over it and potentially even hand-deliver it for you. It's the QM6K, and it is gorgeous. Can't wait to give that away. There's a lot of reasons you could have kids. I would argue the best reason to have kids is so you can use the carpool lane.
Oh, yeah.
It gives you full access to an entirely new lane of the freeway that is just for you or anyone that's driving with more than a few people. Although over the years they opened it up a little bit to allow people that have like electric cars, I think. If you've been grandfathered in, you have that sticker, you can use it even if you have no other friends.
Yeah, I don't have that sticker, but I have like an old expired sticker, so I feel like that's good enough.
But apparently, new research is out, and it shows that the number of violators of the high occupancy vehicle lane is skyrocketing, and no one respects that lane anymore at all. People just go in it. If they want to go in it, they don't even think about how many people I have in my car. And as a result, I think they've given more tickets than ever before. And even just in the research they do, when they give you that warning, like, speed is being tracked by airplanes or whatever else, however they're doing surveillance on us, they have found that more and more people are just riding in that lane solo. And they just don't care. Zero F's given.
Which SoCal freeway do you think is the most abused carpool lane? Because I have the list here of which ones people abuse the most.
I mean, 405's got to be the busiest. The 5 is always at a standstill, so I would think that anything you could use to move around there would be better. But some of them don't have. Some of them, I feel like all of a sudden you hit a stretch where there is no carpool lane.
I know, sometimes it's elusive. It's there and it's gone.
It's there and gone. That's always the excuse I ever, have on the ready if I get pulled over.
And also some carpool lanes have gone away and they install those fast track BS things.
Right. Where you technically
you have to pay.
Yes. And if you drive in them, which by the way you can do, they'll just send you a nice little thing in the mail in a few weeks.
And you can just go ahead and ignore that.
And you can just go ahead and throw that right in the shredder.
You know what's the worst? When you actually decide, okay, I'm going to use that lane, and then there's no traffic on the right side, and you're like, damn it. Why did I do this?
Whenever I play that game of moving over, got to go left. Everyone gets on you. Got to go as left as possible.
It's such a quick decision you have to make.
Sometimes it is incredibly frustrating going as left as possible, only to sit still and watch everyone on the right side just
you're like,
breezing.
God, why?
Because I go far left with the potential of going 80 miles an hour, but then to sit still, watch people that are actually on the right going 40, but
then you see people in the right, all the way in the right lane, just cruising, and you're like, damn it.
So I would imagine the most violated has got to be, just because of the amount of cars on there, it would have to be 405.
Of the violations that they've given out, most of them were the 10. So, and if you think about it, that has a lot of traffic all the time.
You a 10.
10, girl. And then there was the 605.
What's up, Klein Alley? It's the Bud Light Bro.
Okay, careful. You say 10, they start popping out of nowhere. Those guys left a great long message we'll get to later this morning.
Then it was the 605, then the 5, then the 14, then the 405, and then the 60.
Well, that's just because...
and they call this occupancy misrepresentation.
I don't even know. So that's just people,
that's what they call it. It's people that pretending. Are falsely using the carpool lane.
But every once in a while you do hear the viral story of the guy that has a mannequin or he puts a wig on the passenger seat. Like for a while I had a hat and a pair of sunglasses on my passenger seat.
Just sitting on the bottom of the passenger seat?
No, I put them on. No, I taped them. The sunglasses went right over the headrest, and I put the hat on the top of the headrest. And I didn't do that.
Weekend at Bernie's.
I didn't really do it to pull one over. I did that.
Thought it was funny.
I did it one time, and I just left it there, and I haven't been pulled over in a while.
You're such a troublemaker.
But troublemaker turn baby maker, Allie. You know me. But do people actually go elaborate? Like, do people have inflatable dolls?
I don't think it's worth the effort, to be honest.
That's
I think
how I
that
feel.
People understand that in Southern California, there's a lot worse stuff going on
at all times
than for cops to be worrying about carpool violators.
But yet, for whatever reason, they are worried about them because they're giving a ton of tickets.
On the way to work today, I was in the carpool lane on the 405, and then I saw a cop coming up behind me, and I went right over into the right lane.
Because are you allowed to? How long is the rule? Like, you're allowed to use that lane to pass?
Yeah, and that's a great loophole.
Right.
Could be passing.
Right.
I could be passing at any time.
Passing that truck that's 19 miles up there. So if you see a cop,
you just get over and you're like, oh, I was just in there for a second.
Yeah, apparently the 10, a lot of people say that. I've gotten that violation on the 10. That's a terrible violation to get. That's like the moving equivalent of getting a jaywalking violation, is to get one of those. Because you rarely hear about it, but people have gotten them before. It's absolutely legitimate. Be careful. We got to take a quick break. There's your PSA today. If you're going to use the carpool lane, they are now cracking down more than ever. Supposedly. I don't believe it, but supposedly they're cracking down more than ever.
Or people are just more egregious about the violations than ever before.
The best hack is to have a car seat or one of those things like on the window that shows like baby on board.
Oh my God, yes.
They just assume you don't have to go through the process of buying a mannequin.
Well, what's cool is I didn't realize like the day your baby is born, that's carpool lane status. I thought it was like the kid has to be big enough to be like a true passenger.
I think you can do it if you're pregnant. You have a baby inside of you.
No, because that girl that looks like me got pulled over for that, remember?
Oh, yeah, but she had meth on her or something.
That's true.
Yes. Quick break. We're back in a moment. Your news next.
World Famous KROQ.
Klein Alley Show.
Klein Alley Show.
KROQ.
Allie had an altercation yesterday with the police.
I didn't have an altercation with the police.
It sounds like you did. I saw a picture too, and today you claim that you're moving very slowly. So, so you got tased at Target trying to steal.
Technically, I got hit by a car.
What?
So
were you walking?
I'm walking gingerly, but yes, I'm walking.
Is the car okay?
Shut up! The car's fine.
How much damage to the car?
I didn't damage the stupid car. The car damaged me. I'm damaged goods.
So I'll take a moment of silence and think about that car for a second. Hold on.
Shut up.
Totaled.
It's not total. It's not a total loss.
So, Allie, what happened?
I had decided, like I said, to go to Target to look at some Valentine's Day cards and get some stuff together for the show. And so I had parked. And, you know, at Target in the parking lot, they have like 50 spots for handicap, 50 spots for curbside. You have to park kind of far even if you get a good spot. So I'm walking.
They're the most egregious. No offense, Target. You got a lot of cool stuff.
I was like halfway down the aisle, and I was like the first normal spot.
The Target I go to, there's one level of the parking lot you can't even park on unless you are handicap or picking up like
or both. Sometimes you have to be both.
You have to be handicap with a pre-order. It's the only way you can park there. If not, you can't even go on that level.
So I'm walking, and I've got like a 10-minute window where I can run this errand before I have to pick my kid up from school. So I'm walking kind of fast, and as I am passing the handicap section of the parking lot, I suddenly feel an impact on my leg, knee, hand, lots of pain, and I'm knocked down to the ground, and I realize that a car backed out of their spot immediately into me, and I'm glad they were planning on pulling out all the way, but once they realized they hit me, they decided to stop. And
you got backed into?
Yes, they backed into me.
The irony of that is we always play those funny sounds when we talk about you backing up, which are those loud warning beeps.
I know, and I probably should have those for walking forwards now. So it hurt. I mean, when you're not expecting that, which I guess when are you?
Well,
but even if you're,
I think getting hit by a car, yeah, it would hurt for sure. Yeah,
yeah, but of all the places,
but it's like you're just on your way. You're like doing something mindless, right? You're like in autopilot, and then all of a sudden you just experience a lot of pain, followed by you're on the pavement, you don't know what happened, and then you realize that, oh my God, there's a car there that just literally backed into me. I'm glad they didn't keep going.
What kind of car? Like a SUV, regular car?
See, that's why I'm bad in these scenarios, because I'm not an observant person, and I have no idea. It was black. It was a black car.
Even now, you don't have an idea afterwards? You didn't make notes?
So
take pictures?
I'm on the ground, and then I'm like, oh my God. Oh, God.
Oh, a face plant, or you put your hands out, or?
Can't remember. Can't tell you, Omar.
Wow.
I just remember I was on the ground.
Did a crowd gather to see what happened?
How'd this whale get here?
Another beached whale. No, there were a couple people who stopped, including one of the guys who was doing the curbside stuff at
To
Target.
help you, or just to watch like you would do?
To point and laugh.
Okay.
And no. They did end up helping me. So the guy gets out, and he's an old man.
Oh, an old guy.
Old guy in a handicap spot, and you
just mushed yourself yesterday by bad talking that old lady.
So true.
I
Yesterday
know.
on the show, Allie could not have. She put so much shade on the elderly community because she got mad that old lady tried to cut in front of her, ironically at a line. Who knows if that was a target or not?
She was trying to get old privilege.
She was trying to get old privilege. Allie was bitching about old privilege yesterday, and that's the ultimate old privilege, is backing into people.
Yeah.
And pull out of your handicap
So
spot.
this guy goes, oh, wow, I was looking at another car to wait for that car to pass by, and then I just backed out, and you were there. Like, who knows how this happened? And I'm like, okay.
Wait, that's the first thing he said?
Yeah, he started like rambling about an excuse of like why.
What the hell?
Well,
You
'cause,
want
you know-
to check in on your well-being?
Because people learn when you get into an accident, you're never supposed to, even if it's 100% your fault, you're never supposed to say, like, I'm sorry, or that's my fault, or that's on me. Because if Allie decides to, go after this guy, then, he's going to make the argument that it was her fault because she was running through the parking lot, not whatever.
It's never the pedestrian's fault,
In this case, it could have been.
No, see, that's why I knew that you were going to say this is my fault. All I am doing is walking through the parking lot.
You said you were running. You had 10 minutes.
I wasn't running. I was walking quickly, but there were no cars around him. I was in there was that handicapped section where there was only like 1 or 2 cars that were parked there. It wasn't like a row of jam-packed cars.
Maybe he was thinking, this woman's in the handicapped section, but she's not handicapped. Let's fix that.
Are you a vigilant walker in the parking lot? Did you see the little white backing up lights pop on, or did he do it so fast that you didn't?
It was so fast. I was already in his path when he backed up. Like I was already.
He just put it in reverse and then hit the gas.
Yes. So then he gets out and he's like, and then he said, "Are you okay?" And as I'm getting up, and didn't help me up, by the way. As I'm getting up, I'm like, I think so. I think I'm all right. And then he goes, okay, starts getting in his car and says, sorry about that, and leaves.
What?
That was his plan. Get out of
You let him leave?
Well, I didn't know what was happening. I was like shocked by what the hell happened, and I was like, okay. So
Dude,
then
most of these accidents, you're not going to feel like the actual
the injury,
like, pain, right, for days.
So then I start taking a few steps as I continue into the store, and I'm like, I need to sit down. So I sit down on the curb. And I had like my fingernail, I had like bent back, and my leg was kind of hurting, and I was like, I need to take a minute. And meanwhile, the guy drives right by me as I'm sitting on the curb.
So you got a picture of the car?
So this woman pulls up and she goes, oh my God, are you okay? I just saw that whole thing. I wrote down his license plate number.
Oh, nice. Good Samaritan.
And she's like, and I was like, I think I'm all right. And she was like, is there anybody you can call to let know that you're okay, or let them know what happened? Are you going to file a police report? I was like, I don't know. Like, I think I'm okay, but yeah, I guess I should call my wife. So I get the license plate number and I call my wife. And she is no help at all. She's like, oh, my God, you probably have an aneurysm. You're going to die. Oh, my Lord, you should probably call an ambulance to come get you, et cetera. I'm
Are
like,
you
no.
for real?
Yeah, I'm like, well, this isn't making me feel any better. This is making me feel really nervous. So then I'm like, okay, I need to file some kind of report. And then as I start figuring out what I want to do, I'm like, well, I need to get the camera footage because you guys are going to find it hilarious.
Oh, God, please tell me they gave it to you.
So I went to guest services. I waited in that long line of people complaining about their returns and everything like that.
If you have the camera footage of you getting hit by this car, it will make my year. Please.
So eventually a supervisor comes and she goes, how can I help you? I'm like, somebody hit me in the parking lot. I need some camera footage. And they were like, well, you have to file a police report and the police have to request it. If the police request it, we'll give it to them and then they can give it to you. I go, okay, then I guess I'll file a police report. So I call the police and they were like, so are you okay? I was like, I mean, yeah. And they were like, so what do you want me to do about this?
And I was like, need the camera footage.
We need to see the fall of the mall.
So a cop shows up. This has been like an hour and a half by this point that I've been in the parking lot and at Target.
Where's your son? Did he get picked up from school or is he still there?
Katie went and picked him up.
Oh, okay.
So then
sorry to stop you, but isn't this technically a hit and run? And the officer really didn't care about it? Because just because you say, hey, are you okay, you still left the scene because you were out of your senses.
So she was like, did you say you were okay to the guy? And I was like, I said I think so, but I don't really know. And they were like, do you need us to send paramedics? I was like, I mean, no, but my thumb hurts.
Right.
And, so they were just like, I guess we'll send an officer to do an incident report. So then the cop shows up, waiting a long time for that. Eventually he shows up and he's like, hey, what's going on? I said, well, this guy was in the spot and he starts backing up and he hits me and I fall over. And then suddenly the guy that hit me walks up.
Stop it.
To the police car.
No way.
And goes, hi, yes, that's me.
He came back.
I came back because I was so worried about you. And I was like, what? Like an hour and a half
later?
Was it
Ashton Kutcher? And you're punk.
So here we are. Yeah. First bike ride. So
can't believe we got a sequel to the Crash video.
I know,
excited.
I know. So then he goes, hey, I was waiting for this car to pass, and then she ran into my car. Says I ran into his car,
and after you.
I start going, what the hell? And then the cop's like, all right, what do you want to do then? Do you guys just want to exchange information? And the guy's like, well, it's up to her, and he's like playing the old person card again.
Sure.
So I'm like, yeah, I do want to exchange information. And he goes, okay. And then he tells the cop, here's my business card. I am a claims investigator.
That's what the guy's job is.
Yes.
The old man.
Yes, the old man is a claims investigator.
You're cooked, Allie. You're cooked.
He gives me his business card.
You got to get Sweet James in your corner. He'll take care.
Look at this. He is a private investigator.
Oh, my God.
And I realize...
Oh, he's one of these ambulance chaser guys.
Dude, so I realize he probably heard a police scanner say, hey, here's the license plate number of this guy. Somebody's coming out to the parking lot.
Heard that he was under investigation for hit and run.
And then he came back.
Came back to the scene of the crime.
Came back to the scene of the crime to somehow prevent an incident report from happening, swaps information, and goes on his way. Damn. And now this is literally the worst...
Friday morning, KROQ. It's almost 9 o'clock, which means we have the first 4-pack of tickets to give you to Knott's Berry Farm. We'll do that just after the ADD news. Then you'll win a 4-pack every single hour straight up through 6 p.m., and that's going to happen for the rest of the morning. Father's Day is on Sunday, and people have been leaving their dad advice on the GOAT line because earlier this week we gave away Giant TV for the best or worst dad advice you gave or received. And a lot of people couldn't get through, but they still wanted to share with us this. And I thought because Father's Day is almost here, before we get to your news, let's listen to this touching tribute to a man's father.
I'm a podcast listener, and I just want to say that my fatherly advice would have definitely have won me that TV. I told my dad one time on Valentine's Day that I was going to go to the store, get my wife and my mom flowers for him that he could claim. And he told me, no, son, that's okay. And I said, but Dad, Mom would really appreciate flowers. And he went ahead and said, son, let me tell you, sometimes you just need to piss them off. And that was his fatherly advice to me. Thank you.
Beautiful. That's right. Sometimes you just need them mad at you, which is very easy.
It's hard to let somebody be mad at you and to just do nothing about it. There's power in that.
This guy said, I'm going to pick up flowers, give them to you. All you got to do is hand them to Mom. He goes, no. I want her mad at me. That's good advice right there. We do have one of these giant TVs to give you next hour, so we'll get into all of that. But first, your news.
Grab your Adderall. It's time for ADD News.
This is going to be a nostalgic ADD News. If you watched MTV at all, you may be sad to have learned that VJ Ananda Lewis passed away. She was 53 years old. She had a long battle with breast cancer. She had told everyone in 2020 that she got it, and she said she found her own lump, and she was very vocal about her process, sharing holistic remedies and things like that. If you remember, in the 90s, she was hired by MTV to be a VJ in 1997, and she hosted Total Request Live and Hot Zone. And then in 99, the New York Times quote for her was the hip-hop generation's reigning it girl. And then she left in 2001. She did a lot of different things. But if you want some nostalgia, obviously the sound quality here is not going to be the greatest, but this is just one of her hits from MTV.
Including Snoop Doggy Dogg, which brings me to my video on More Info on Snoop. Now, you know he's been a busy man, the dog man. He's done 2 soundtracks, including Gang Related and I-95. And Gang Related actually comes out this week. So make sure you stay tuned because I'm going to tell you when exactly it comes out.
Isn't that crazy that it's like only I can tell you when it comes out?
That was the best clip we could find, was that?
Well, I was finding it in a hurry. There was a lot. There was
Good job, Alan.
Nice tribute there.
Some tribute to her.
Well, maybe some other people can help me find audio. That would be really great so that I didn't have to resort to this.
I don't know if we're paying tribute to Ananda Lewis.
You could just not do the story.
Or that buzz.
I don't want to not do the story because obviously people were pretty affected by her death, so I decided to include it. You guys, stupid assholes.
I stand by Allie's statement right there.
If anyone else wants to find a better clip and put it on, please go ahead. All right, in Hollywood these days, if you can't think of an original idea, why are you laughing?
Nothing.
Listen, it was a tribute to Ananda Lewis.
I was trying to give any kind of example of what she sounded like back then. I couldn't find a better... I was looking and I couldn't find anything that had better sound quality, and I was like, well, I guess this is better than nothing.
I bet you we couldn't find one with worse sound quality. Let me see here.
It was back then. There wasn't a lot of good sound quality back then when you were replaying old stuff from like 30 or 40 years ago.
That was 99, you said?
97 is when she was on Total Request Live.
Hold on. Let me see if I can find something here. I've got a tribute to Nanda Lewis. Here it is. R.I.P. R.I.P.
Okay, great. Didn't you watch her?
Of course, she was one of the goats. I mean, all those VJs, they were all Carson Daly. Obviously, used to be a KROQ. Then he got that VJ gig. He hightailed it out of here, went to MTV, and then they had a nice run of VJs for a while. It was a big deal at MTV. You got a new VJ growing up. If you're a millennial, it was a big story.
I know. All right, in Hollywood these days, if you can't think of an original idea, just reboot an old one. Reboots like to tap into that nostalgia, and it'll hit every time. We have a few that have been announced or have been giving updates. Of course, there's the highly anticipated Little House on the Prairie reboot, a reboot of American Gladiators, and many, many more. But the exciting one that was just announced is that after all these years, 38 of them to be exact, Spaceballs 2 is happening. Spaceballs is one of the best spoof films ever made. They released an announcement that started with one of those big, long, scrolling texts a la Star Wars, which starts 38 years ago. There was only one Star Wars trilogy. Since then, there has been a prequel trilogy, a sequel to the prequel, a prequel to the sequel, countless TV spin-offs, a movie spin-off of the TV spin-off, which was both a prequel and a sequel, but there has only been one Spaceballs until now. And then Mel Brooks came on and announced it officially.
After 40 years...
40!
We asked, what do the fans want? But instead, we're making this movie. May the Schwartz be with you.
Isn't that exciting?
I'm excited.
And yeah, he did say 40 years, Jake, but he is also 98 years old. And I think they were like, it's 38 years, Mel. And he's like, all right, we'll just round up to 40.
Who cares?
I feel like the years just kind of go by.
Nanda Lewis clip.
Yeah,
go
so
ahead.
did I.
Go ahead.
I could play it here if you want.
Yeah, let's pay some respect to
go ahead,
Nanda
Jake.
Lewis.
You do yours.
I can't do it from my studio.
Oh, okay.
Great.
Here, I'll play it
Who's
from here.
next?
Give me some inspiration for some style in the 80s with your good videos right there. Right
good.
before that video, former Nick Patrick Ewing, a hell of a basketball center, but he ain't no VJ. Did you see him? Toss it. Woo! Tough job. Back in 1986, a couple of old school New York rappers showed their love for classic rock.
That's a real throwback right there.
Cool.
It's Layla at 4
This is
p.m.
better.
today on the Jams Countdown. She's hanging out with Joe Bellamy. But until then, I got
106.7 KROQ FM in HD Pasadena, Los Angeles, Orange County. This is the world famous KROQ.
Well, we've learned we're not good at tributes on the show. We've done that over and over again. However, we are good at giving you stuff. And right now, caller 20 gets 4 tickets to Knott's Berry Farm. This summer, no place like it. Soak up all the California fun and sun. Knotts.com to get your tickets or just win them from us. We'll have a 4-pack for you right now, caller 20. And then again at 10 a.m. we'll do that because we got summer hours, which we're going to be extending for another week. I guess we'll just keep on doing these summer hours until you guys tell us you've had enough. So get ready for another week of us until 11 a.m. here on KROQ. And that's good because it means we have more time to give you things like Knott's tickets and this giant TV coming up this hour. If you still talk to your dad on the phone, if he still takes your call. It's been a while since we've done Mother Knows Best. I think we last did that around Mother's Day. We've never done a Father Knows Best. An opportunity for you to have an awkward conversation with your father and see if he knows things about you at all, intimate details about you that most dads probably wouldn't want to know about their own kids. So we will get into that coming up this hour. It will result in someone leaving here with a ginormous 98-inch TCL TV. So we got that to look forward to. I'm going to grab caller 20 in a moment. And then we will start the giving. It's going to be an hour full of giving. And also some complaints about the show. Do more better. We'll get to that as well. It's all happening over the next 60 minutes together right here on KROQ. K-Rock, Klein Alley Show. Let's go ahead and say hi to caller 20, which puts us on someone by the name of Dylan. Good morning.
Morning.
Hi, you are caller 20.
Oh, awesome. That's amazing.
Great news for you. 4 tickets, Knott's Berry Farm, in your future. Hold on, all right?
All right, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you for first time winner, huh?
First time Knott's Berry Farm.
Oh, okay. All right, fair enough.
It'll be. Did they get a little button there?
Yeah, you can wear a button. It's
First visit.
It's the Disney button. It's just right over with a Sharpie. It's cool. Anyway, you get that. Enjoy your trip there. Another chance to win those 4 tickets coming up in about an hour. The Bud Light Bros, I would argue, are, if not the biggest fans of this show, they're the most dedicated, loyal, because they felt the need to tattoo our show logo on their neck. And that is a very nice thing for them to do. And I was upset the other day, and they left a nice new message. Apparently, we have an update, a very exciting update in their lives. But I was upset the other day because comedian Jerry Seinfeld apparently attacked the Bud Light Bros.
Recently or 30 years ago?
No, this happened recently because, listen to this. This is the Bud Light Bros, as you know, they have this catchphrase they've been saying. It's what they're known for. They say, "It is what it is." That's kind of their thing. That's when we met them in Vegas a few years ago. They were hammered, and all they could really say was, "It is what it is."
I think that's
It is what it is.
We were asking them about their alcoholism.
Yeah. And it really didn't matter what the question was. Everything was, it is what it is. And they went into a rant, and they said that. They must have said that phrase 1,000 times. Well, now Seinfeld, I guess in some recent material, claims that the biggest idiots on the planet use the phrase, it is what it is.
Sometimes we run out of opinions. We make them up. It is what it is a very popular opinion statement nowadays. I'm sure some idiot said it to you today. It is what it is.
So he's basically going after the Bud Light Bros personally now.
Can't get through a day without somebody going, well, it is what it is. Why are you alive?
And I don't like that at all because he's getting very aggressive.
Though a lot of people are asking why the Bud Light Bros are still alive.
That's the part
and
that's
how.
crazy. Anytime someone dies, like it's really remarkable that they're still alive. They drink so much alcohol. I mean, they drink, as we learned when they were on with us, 30 beers at a time and multiple days a week. I think every day of the week.
Yeah.
And
I think they would go through withdrawal at this point if they had less.
But then they lost their job, and we were trying to help them get a job. And listen to this, Allie.
What's up, Klein Alley? It's the Bud Light Bros. Man, it's been about a month since we last checked in, and we were all proud because we got jobs. Well, man.
And a lot of people, even listeners of ours that are fans of the show, said, we can't hire these guys. They're a liability. They drink too much, and they will always miss work to support our show. If we're doing a live broadcast somewhere.
Oh, yeah, noon in Orange County,
right,
they'll be there.
So at some point, how could you hire these guys if they're going to put our show, and also one of them has a giant tattoo of our show on their neck. But anyway, it didn't stop them from getting hired.
Them guys had us going from Northside Long Beach, where we live, all the way to Santa Fe Springs, Buena Park, Whittier, Anaheim.
This was their old job. I guess they had to drive a bunch of places, so they were in the car forever, which is how they found a show, which is good for us. But then
Glad their last job involved so much driving.
So much drinking and driving, right?
Man, that's like 20 miles from our house. We ain't boo-boo the fool. So we told them, take your jobs and shove it.
I don't think that's what happened. I think they got fired. But okay, that's fine. That's the way they tell the
I think
story.
after they say you're fired, they just go, well, then take this job and shove it.
Right. It doesn't have the same impact after you've been let go.
Man, for a week, we did odd jobs like, tire rotations, oil changes, brake pad changes, truck for hire. Whatever we need to do.
I don't even think they were getting paid to do that. I think they were just going up to cars that were parked and doing that.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, because beer don't pay for itself. But we finally found a gig 2 miles from our house. Our commute is only 6 minutes from our house.
Oh, no, are we losing them as listeners?
I think we've lost them now. Kindergarten teachers.
It's a Viva Klein Alley show for 6 minutes.
6 minutes a day.
We loving it. The job is super easy. It pays the bills and pays for our Bud Light. Anyway.
We found out they were spending $1,000 a week just on their beer. $1,000 a week.
What? Is that correct? There's no way. I think it's a month.
No. I thought that was what they were spending a week because they load up the back of their pickup truck with all of the case. Whenever the Bud Light's 30.
But even if you drink a 30 a day for each of them, it's not $1,000 a week.
So maybe that's what they were spending every other week. I don't know. It felt like it's
30 for like $22.50.
We heard talk.
Speaking from another alcoholic who knows the price of beer.
Yeah. Jake knows this thing. Anyway, there's a reason for their call. You know, they always need something.
We heard talks about our favorite show going back to our favorite town, the birthplace of sin, Las Vegas.
We mentioned maybe we're talking about potentially doing something in Vegas this summer with a bunch of listeners. We haven't figured it out yet. Of course, it involves a lot of people that have to do a lot of things to make it happen. But
a lot of contracts on
a lot of contracts.
Gambling, drinking, and Klein's favorite, engaging with whores.
It's not my favorite. I don't like that.
They always give a nice soundbite.
I don't. That's not my favorite. Omar said
Klein's favorite, engaging with whores.
Woo! Imagine the Bud Light Bros on the strip, at the pool, in the cabana, with all the KROQ staff and the Klein Alley Show army. Ooh, we ready. Hashtag grow the show.
Beautiful.
Viva Klein Alley Show.
Right.
It's Bud Light Bros. It is what it is.
There they go.
Sweet Diddy.
All right.
Love you guys.
They've been unofficial VIPs for a while now with the KROQ staff.
Apparently.
They really want to make sure that the Bud Light Bros are taken care of. I think at this point, though, they would be able to quit their jobs and become full-time influencers.
I think so.
They would be great influence.
They've got a great thing going on there. It feels like one of those SNL sketches that just keeps going on.
Yeah.
You know, that doesn't stop when it should have. But the Bud Light Bros, I enjoy them. And
like
they
halfway through, you're like, this bit is getting old, and then it gets funny again.
Except I'm waiting for the part where it gets funny again. But I do like those guys, and they are loyal, diehard fans. So thank you for that. And if you don't have a neck tattoo of our show, then you're not a real fan just yet. We'll take a quick break. When we get back, things are about to get damn good. If you are looking for a brand new giant TV, and your father still takes your calls, or if you're a father, you've got an adult child, and they will take your calls. We'd love to you to join us for a little round of Father Knows Best. We will come up with the topics. It will be uncomfortable and awkward, like when a sex scene comes on an HBO show that you're watching together, but it still will be worth your time because someone is going to get this giant TV. We do it next at 800-520-1067.
Starting tonight at 7, KROQ is offering you The Contract to enter an exclusive agreement for a legally binding night of 21 Pilots.
We're 21 Pilots and we don't approve of that.
Yeah, but KROQ does. Here are the terms. Listen all weekend for the code word to text for your chance to win your way in. And negotiate a pair of tickets to catch 21 Pilots live at BMO Stadium October 25th.
Taking my time on my ride. My friends are here, take it slow.
Don't initial the non-compete. Sign the contract and lock in your spot at the loudest clause ever drafted up. Courtesy of Live Nation.
The world famous KROQ.
Starting tonight at 7.
When I got a flat...
KROQ, Klein Alley Show. Perhaps you felt the jolt last night as you were going to sleep or just getting home or whatever the case may have been. Man. Big jolt. A lot of people still recovering. 3.9 or North Hollywood.
Some people like Klein are still recovering.
Real shaker. Still have not been able to sleep. Really messed me up good,
I got
man.
PTSD.
Well, there's no one you can sue for that, but if you've been playing a lot of video games lately, apparently there's lots of people you can sue. There's a class action suit that's been going on now that claims that if you've spent any serious amount of time playing any games, app games, traditional video games, etc., you could be entitled to real money. And a woman just got paid out because she claimed that her Candy Crush addiction was crippling.
Well, there's endless levels.
Endless.
I'm at level 1069, I believe.
Yeah, and you're nowhere near the end. And if you ever get to the end, they'll just make more levels.
Yes, because it's very easy to just make more levels.
She finally ended up getting paid close to $250,000 because they agreed that she was right. And the way that the video game manufacturers operate now is that they are supposedly, this is according to the class action lawsuit that's going on right now.
Man, she could probably buy so many Crush combos with that $250,000.
She sure could. They are embedding, quote, addictive psychological features into popular games like Minecraft, GTA 5, Fortnite. This is proposally done to hook players, compelling them to spend excessive time and money on gaming.
Of course.
This is what they're designed to do.
If they're good at their jobs, that's what they're doing.
Now, I guess like anything else, They claim that if they can find proof that they were attempting to get people to get, quote, addicted and spend money and spend time to the point now where they're saying people are missing school, missing jobs,
Any video
relationships.
game is designed to have you keep playing. They want you to play as long as you can.
But for whatever reason, I don't know where that line is. Now there's a giant class action lawsuit that's going on. That
and you can do it with our phones. You could do it with social media. You could do it with
the notifications.
Girl Scout
releases that
cookies.
dopamine. Yeah.
Girl Scout cookies, all of it.
Literally, you can find anything addicting, and we find everything addicting now. I was just actually reading about how people are getting addicted to AI and chatbots, because if you're lonely and you want to talk to somebody, you can talk to AI as long as you want to, and people are now like speaking to them so often that they feel like they can't go without it, like it's a friend of theirs that they need to constantly be checking in with.
Well, there's a wellness retreat that apparently has just opened up for people that were addicted to the day trading of the cryptocurrency.
Well, that's just like gambling.
Overpowering, and all the emotions, the highs, the lows, that they said, this is overtaking my entire life. I've gone completely broke. I decided to go all in on Fartcoin, and it bankrupted my family, and now I got to check into a rehab to deal with this. But are we becoming more addicted? You think as a society now we are just getting addicted easier to things?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the internet is to blame, but I also think that they know, like, we are consumers. That's what we do. We consume content. We consume new products, everything.
Right. We're like termites.
Yes, exactly. We consume everything in our path. And whether you are somebody who's addicted to gambling, whether it's, online or in person, somebody like me would be finding an addiction in places like Temu and deal hunting and things like that, where I look at my Temu app and there's a spinning wheel going spin, spin, spin. You can win 100% off these 10 items. And I'm like, and it's all programmed to trigger that same part of your brain that wants more, more, more. What's the next thing? What's the next rush?
But I don't believe all addictions are respected the same. Because if you were to meet someone and they're like, oh man, I was crazy addicted to heroin for a while, and now I'm on the recovery. People are like, hey man, props, good work, man. That's not easy to kick heroin. But if someone else is like,
a Fartcoin guy?
I'm addicted to Fartcoin. I've been playing the meme. Like, it was like, dude, you're not addicted to anything. Like, get the F out of here.
Well, I think having an embarrassing addiction is tough. Like, yes, if you have something traditional, that's, you have your own things that you've done to get drugs or alcohol or whatever, and you have those stories and you have a shame attached to that, etc. But there's a different shame attached when you say, I spent 7 hours last night on online bingo.
909 says, Allie, not to rub it in, but I'm on level 9,345 on Candy Crush. You got a long way to go.
No, yeah, I was doing it like every single day. And then I actually got mugged because I was walking down the street at night on Candy Crush, and because I couldn't stop playing, and I had like a 5-minute walk ahead of me, and because I was looking down at my phone and not paying attention, I got mugged, and then my phone got stolen, and then I had to start my Candy Crush streak all over again.
My levels.
I know, all the candies that I popped.
Probably crushing right now. Yeah, I wonder, is there something that you are currently addicted to? Like, defend your addiction. Like, for instance, you're into it, it's probably gotten to that point of, I think that even buying stuff on Amazon has become a weird addiction for certain people. They just kind of can't get through the day without looking and getting, especially if you're constantly getting the updates of what's arriving. And it's very easy now for us to fall into the trap. I'm curious. We'll share with you ours. Love to hear yours. You can text, you can call 800-520-1067.
Klein, Alley, Show! Mornings on KROQ 106.7 KROQ.
Klein Alley Show. Thank you to everyone on the text line that said that our show has become their most unhealthy addiction, and now I feel like I must listen, and when I'm not listening, I'm missing out on stuff, so much so that I listen to the podcast afterwards, and I'm getting the shakes. So thank you for that. Greatly appreciate you. Talking addictions now. Apparently a giant class action suit is underway for anyone who feels like they've been addicted to video games or apps, because they're designed to get you hooked and keep you there forever, and that's not okay. People addicted now these days to cryptocurrencies. My addiction is old school. It's gambling. That's the thing. When I get around a casino and I start hearing those noises.
Do you gamble every day?
I could gamble every day. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure you could, but do you?
Not every day, but that's just because I'm a little tapped right now. But if I got a little bit more in the reserves, I could see myself gambling every day.
And how far in the hole have you been before?
Well, there's a listener to this show that called in to bet me $100 on that Tyson fight. You remember that? Mm-hmm. And I bet him on I thought Tyson was going to win, and I owed him $100, and then I was going to pay him on the side because I pay all my debts. And then he wrote to me, "You want to double?"
Said with confidence.
Want to double or nothing?
Because I pay all my debts.
He goes, "You want to double or nothing?" And I go, "Sure, let's double or nothing." We went up to 2. I was down 2. Then I was down 4. Then I was down 8. And I think I currently owe him over $1,000.
Yeah, but you've owed more than that.
Oh yeah, I mean that's why I moved to the West Coast. I owe to book you a ton of money on the East Coast.
How much money?
North of 20.
Wow.
Yeah, north of 20.
And then you ran away from that?
But I was up for a period before then. And
Did you explain that to him? He'll probably understand.
He's in jail now for another 4 years, and then I'll have to deal with that. But for the time being.
Oh, my God. What if you were the first person he found?
He may. Jeremiah on KROQ. Good morning.
Good morning.
What is your addiction?
I've been addicted to World of Warcraft since 2004, and I've lost a marriage over it, lost 3 or 4 jobs over it.
Wow, that's a real deal addiction. This guy's up for that class action lawsuit money right there.
So, how long have you been playing?
Since 2004, since it came out.
So, you've been playing for 20 plus years, and you still find it that interesting?
It's ever changing, and then they re-released all the original content. So when everybody started complaining that the new stuff's getting boring, they're not creating new things, they re-released the old stuff that we had all the nostalgia for, and everybody went back to that.
When your wife,
they're making small changes.
When your wife said to you at some point, "It's me or World of Warcraft," you clearly made your choice, huh?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Did she give you a chance to save the marriage and say "Look, I'll stay with you, but you got to give up this World of Warcraft"? And you're like, "Sorry, you don't have new levels every week like this does."
No, there was no chance. It was just, hey, I'm not getting enough attention. This other person gives me attention that I so need and desire. So she kind of fell in love with someone else because all my attention was either a work if I was working, and then come home and 12 hours a day World of Warcraft.
And what jobs did you lose?
Oh, man, I've been a general manager of, a bowling alley, a general manager of, at the time, a Subway up in Washington.
Oh,
cushy gigs.
Full circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, where are you at now? Where are you at now in your addiction? Pretty deep still? And Father's Day feels. Also Friday the 13th. Haven't mentioned that enough, but let's get into it now. An opportunity for you to get even closer with your father just in time for Father's Day. So close, some people would argue uncomfortably close. But up for grabs, it's a giant TV. The prize is worth it. I'm telling you right now, if I ever at any point get a random phone call in the future and it's my daughter on the phone and she's going to have an uncomfortable conversation with me about, I don't know, sexual partners or fetishes or something, as long as at the end of it I'm getting a giant TV, I'm okay with it.
Really?
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I think a lot of things make you uncomfortable with the conversations. Even just the things that your daughters are into, like the artists and stuff. You can't really...
I don't like it.
You don't like hearing about it?
I don't like
you don't like bonding over it?
I like that singing Kendrick Lamar in my car. I don't stand
when
for
they
it.
get their periods, they're going to be real uncomfortable?
Nope, that's when I move out. Let's get into it. It's time for Father Knows Best.
Now, it's time for
Father
Knows Best.
Wow, that's beautiful audio production.
We made sure that it was updated for this Father's Day edition. And let's say hi to Valerie, who... hey, Valerie, good morning.
Well, good morning, friends.
You talk to your dad regularly? You guys have a tight relationship? Or just once in a while that kind of a call that you feel like you have to make once a week or something?
Well, I'd say we're more like once a monthers. He lives on the East Coast. I'm on the West Coast.
Got it. Okay. And how much would you say he knows about you?
I would say because he lives so far away, I was more open with him than I was with my mom because I felt like there was no consequence to anything I told him.
Oh, you're like, I'm not going to see him until next month anyway, so it doesn't really matter?
What the hell? Yeah. Guess what I did?
And do you think he would know intimate details about you or probably not?
I don't think so. That's something I don't think he'll know.
Right.
Have you ever talked to him about sex?
He told me about some things about himself, but I have not really have told him anything about myself.
What did he tell you about himself?
He had an affair on his wife, and I was actually the one he told.
Oh.
But it's okay. They're getting divorced. I mean, it's over. So
it's
not
okay.
Like
they're getting divorced. It's like that's
beautiful.
the silver lining.
Beautiful happy ending.
It was 20 years ago.
All right, well, we need answers from the following 3 questions, and then we're going to call your dad. Okay. And all he has to do is get one of these right. If he gets one of them right, it's a giant TV. Could be yours. You can give it to him, or at least if he comes and visits you, you'll say, "Wow, Dad, we got this monster TV now to sit and not talk to each other while we watch games." So here's the first question. We're going to ask him if he knows where you believe your erogenous zone is. Where is one of your erogenous zones?
My erogenous zone. Oh, my God. I hope my dad doesn't. I'm going to say he's going to say my... Oh, my God, my dad? My breasts.
All right. I'll write that down.
Oh, my God, my dad.
Oh my
my
God,
breasts. My boobies.
Growing
my
up,
jugs.
a question for you, and then we'll get your dad on the phone, and if he answers these questions, only has to get one right. The TV is yours. But what is the biggest or most extravagant thing you stole from him growing up? At some point, every kid steals something from their parents. What did you steal from your dad?
I stole The Tropic of Cancer, the book. It's a terrible book. It's written by Henry Miller, and it's got a lot of sex scenes in it. And I was probably like 14 years old, and I'm like, ooh, I am stealing this book.
Okay, you stole the book.
That's the only thing I've ever stole from him.
Do you think he'll know that or no?
He may know. It's the only thing I've ever taken, and I've never asked, do you know this book is missing?
Number one things that Klein would never steal from another person.
A book. Your books are safe with me, guys. If I am ever staying in your house, all those books will be there when you get back. Maybe even more.
I would also argue that many people in LA's houses have been robbed, and I don't think a lot of books are being stolen.
Books are not being taken. There's not much of a resale for the books, Allie, unfortunately.
I'm a terrible thief.
Final question. And we're going to ask your dad this about you, but how many people have you been with? What is your body count?
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 5.
Oh.
Why'd you ask it like a question, out of curiosity?
I've been with my husband since I was 19, so
All
I'm
right,
going to
so
say
5. 5 is your number. All right, 5. That's one full hand. Okay. We're going to play a song, and then we're going to try to get your dad on the phone. What's your dad's first name?
Art.
Okay.
Aww.
We're going to play a song.
Art.
We're going to come back.
Solid guy, Beth.
We're going to get Art on. Of course it is. Such a dad name.
Hey, Art.
Valerie and Art for some Father Knows Best next, KROQ. no greater compliment than we can receive than someone who says, I'm at my job and I will not get out of my car until you're done with this. And that means that we've done something right. And we're in the middle of Father Knows Best right now, where we just met Valerie. We're going to get her dad on the phone. His name is Art. And apparently he's old. Vanessa says she was trying to connect with him, but he's having a hard time hearing. So we'll get him on the phone. Once we get Art on the phone, and then we can, let me just go ahead and say hi once again to Valerie. Valerie, your dad's an old guy?
He's an old guy.
Okay, now I feel a little bit bad about doing Father Knows Best because I don't want. Well, it's
Don't
just,
be ageist.
I don't want to be ageist, but I feel like is this going to break him? Perhaps.
He's young at heart.
Okay.
He is a young man at heart. But
All right. Let's get to it. The exciting conclusion now of Father Knows Best on the line. It's a giant 98-inch TCL TV. If for some reason he cannot help her win, we're going to have to give this TV to someone else. So I recommend you just keep listening and you're ready to call. So here we go.
Come on, Daddy.
Now,
Come on, Daddy.
it's time for
Father
Knows Best.
I like that clip of you saying, come on, Daddy, I'll be honest. Hello, Art. Good morning. Welcome to KROQ. How goes it?
Hey, good.
Hi. Please say hi to your daughter, Valerie.
Hi, Dad.
Yes. Hey, Valerie.
Hi,
What the
Papa.
hell? What the hell are you doing?
Oh. This is off to a great start.
Yeah, this is going to go well.
818 said we should play Omar's Sea Lion clip. Art.
Oh, yeah, he does like his name. All right, Art, we're going to ask you some questions about your daughter. Do you think you know your daughter, Valerie, pretty well?
Yes, I hope so.
Okay. Allie, you can ask the questions. I feel terrible now.
What?
Art, question number 1.
Why? Because he sounds like such a nice guy?
Yeah, such a nice older guy named Art. And now we got to learn about your daughter. But
This guy's probably having a great morning.
what was your morning like before we called you, Art?
Well, I had to get up at 5:30 in the morning. I have an appointment with my eye doctor.
Yep.
I just finished that. I can barely see, but, you know, I'm...
Okay, great.
But you're driving?
Oh, boy. What is that?
Yeah.
What just fell out? Was that an eyeball? What was that? What just fell out of your head there? What was that noise? All right, let's just get to the question.
No, I think that's like a very off-brand phone notification.
Oh, is that what it is?
Oh, totally.
Okay. Here we go. That must be one of them jitterbug phones. All right, Valerie, we're on with Art. It's your dad. It's time to connect. Art, here's the question. We asked your daughter, what is... Actually, I'll let you ask your dad the question, Valerie.
Because you feel bad?
But we'll start with the zone question. So go ahead and ask your dad.
All right, Dad, don't take offense. Just think about the body. You're a doctor. Think about the body. What do you think my top androgynous zone is? Where do you think that zone of pleasure comes from?
Where is your daughter's erogenous zone? She gave us
Thank you.
one. Where would you say that is, Art?
That's a very weird response.
Yeah, I could go low, but then again, I could go high.
True. These are great options.
Yeah, I like it.
Where are you thinking? Low or high, Art?
Man, I would think it's high.
So
Okay,
I need a
what is it,
specific
Dad?
body part.
Throw it in there.
Some people say ears or lips or...
Ooh, I would say, in that case, lips.
Oh, so close, Dad.
If you had just not gotten so high up.
That's so high. I like it how we talked about her body like she was playing football.
Yeah.
You go high, we go low.
Yeah.
Flank left, flank right.
You didn't think of the obvious, Dad.
Tell your father where your erogenous zone is, Valerie.
It's my boobies, Dad.
Oh, my God.
I'm sorry, Daddy. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I never got to suck on it when I was a kid, so that's probably why.
Oh, because he was not breastfed.
Why, Dad.
All right. Well, we'll move on to the next question, guys.
There's so much that goes back to the breast. Well, it's because we didn't breastfeed, Joe.
Yeah,
it's because you were a formula baby.
Question 2 now. Dad, you're off to a bad start. You got 2 more questions. You got to get one of these right. By the way, I should mention there's a 98-inch TCL QM6K.
You just said
Cutie
excuse
Mini.
me. Now it's
LED
spilling
TV.
over into your regular language.
It's a massive television.
Excuse me,
It's the biggest TV ever. Even you could see it with your busted eyes. And she would potentially win this thing, and she could show it to you or share it with you, whatever. This is very exciting.
Who knew we would have such a trend of blind or vision-impaired fathers?
There's nothing a big TV can't fix.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Next question. Art, it's been a pleasure to talk to you. Question 2. We asked your daughter what is the biggest thing she ever stole from you as a kid growing up. What is something she stole from you? She gave us an answer. Do you know something that she stole from you?
Valerie was always the best girl. She never stole nothing. But
That's my daddy.
maybe when she was a little older, she stole a necklace.
Never. Dad.
A necklace. Are you sure about that, Art, or is there something else you want to say?
Is there anything else you could think of? Because I would never do that. Don't try to just think of something.
Okay.
Think of something I would have stolen.
What'd you say, Art?
High school years.
No, you can't give so many clues.
Oh, sorry.
A book.
Which book?
Oh, shit.
Hold on. You can't say that. Hold on. Don't say that word. Art, you can't swear. We're on the radio. I'm sorry. I know you
Old man's. I didn't swear.
You fought in the wars. You deserve it, but we can't. It's the FCC. It's not us.
Okay.
Say it again, though, what the
correct.
answer was, Dad.
The answer is money.
The last thing you
No,
said.
he's changed his mind. All right.
Art.
I can't give you the point.
Come on, he said book.
He said book. He said jewelry. He said money. He's going with all the obvious ones. All right, it's gonna come down to this final question. She stole your sex book, Dad. She stole your sex book, The Tropic of Capricorn or whatever, Tropic of Cancer.
Yes, I stole your Henry Miller book. That's all I took from you, Dad.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you learned something from it.
It's going to come down to this final
Learned
question.
about her
now.
erogenous zones.
Yeah, that's how she learned. Oh, wow. Chapter 6, breast.
Chapter 6.
I got the book right.
Yes, you did. I'm a bad thief.
Here we go. Question number 3. We asked your daughter how many people she has been with sexually, Dad.
God.
How many do you think?
One person.
I love you, Dad, and it's okay that I don't get the TV. I love you, Papa. You're my favorite ever.
Do you want to take another guess at that number, Dad?
No, as a father, I believe he only has one son.
562 said, I'm starting to wonder if this is a biological father or a sugar daddy.
This is my dad.
This is her real dad. All right, well,
We
now,
just have a really good relationship.
I'm not going to
that's
tell
all.
you the number,
I love you, Daddy.
but you did a good job.
Thank you,
I feel like
Dad.
we got to give him something now.
Yeah, man.
Maybe we cut the TV in half and give them each half the TV or something.
And then they only can watch something when they're together.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Happy Father's Day, Art.
Hey, Art, happy Father's Day.
Hey.
Valerie, thank you for playing. And Art, thanks for being a good sport. And, rules is rules. You know what? They're saying, listen, we're going to talk off the air. We're going to try to figure something out for you guys. But I think the good news for everyone else listening right now is that you didn't have to have that conversation with your father, which is good. But also that we still have this giant TV we have to give away before the end of the show today, which means more incentive for you to check out the bonus hour, Klein Alley Show. Summer hours roll on after 10 o'clock. K-Rock, Klein Alley Show. Well, people demanding we do the right thing and get R to TV. So we're going to look into that. I don't know what the deal is because this thing is massive, and to ship it across the country would probably cost $10,000.
I think we also promised hand delivery.
Yeah, we did promise hand delivery. So, John, if you want to get in the van with Jay and bring this TV over to Baltimore, wherever that guy was calling from, we can make that happen. I think we're going to figure out a way to take care of Art and Valerie because everyone loved him, and I get it. He was a good guy. Nice old man.
I know. A lot of people were really feeling for Art, and he seemed like a really good dad.
I will quote, let me just see if I can find this on the text line because there's been so many. But I think it was the quote from 818 that said, give that old man a tiny towel for his old man fluids.
Oh.
So at the very least, we can give him one of the tiny towels from the show.
I can't wait for him to see that in the mail and go, someone gave me a towel. I guess I'll use it for my car.
Anyway, we'll figure out. We'll make sure that Art is taken care of. All right, we got to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll get to your ADD news. Then a brand new hour of the show can begin. The very first thing we do is give you 4 tickets to Knott's Berry Farm. And we have a giant, this is no joke, guys. We have to give this TV away to someone in Southern California. So it'll be when you least expect it. At some point between now and 11 o'clock when we get out of here, you're going to get this giant TV. Let me see if I can say it right for one time on the air.
Okay, get a good look.
It's a TCL QD Mini LED QM 6K 98-inch TV.
You added a D this time.
Well, whatever I did.
He loves to add the D.
It's always makes it much more better.
It is Pride Month.
We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, your news and more next.
Klein Alley Show with new summer hours. Live till 11.
The best summer of my entire life.
The World Famous KROQ.
We are Klein Alley Show, Friday morning. It's time to find out what Johnny knows and doesn't know.
Johnny doesn't know.
And I was like, okay.
Oh, Johnny doesn't know.
I didn't know Vegas was like in Nevada for like a while.
Johnny doesn't know. Johnny doesn't know.
Gelato sounds like Jello.
Johnny doesn't know.
It like goes.
All right, anyone who beats Johnny or predicts correctly if he will know or not know in this round of Johnny Doesn't Know will get themselves a very limited edition tiny towel. This is very exciting. Big stakes. Johnny, what do you think of the tiny towels?
They're actually pretty crazy. I didn't know we were actually going to get those made.
I was shocked that no one was more surprised than we were when the box arrived this morning, but man, they look great. And it's very exciting when we're actually able to pull through on something.
I am going to take this to the gym.
Good for you.
That's a PG fluid.
Yep.
No, not what Allie has planned. Don't you worry.
That's not how I work out.
Allie's got what they call a gym squirter. Right? All right, let's add
That's right.
Let's add a Yenny. Yenny, good morning. Welcome to KROQ.
Hi, good morning.
All right. Up for grabs, tiny towel. Johnny, these are, Johnny doesn't know anything. Everything's available. Johnny, on average, adults have 32 of what? Will Johnny know the answer to this? The average adult has 32 what? Will Johnny know this, yes or no, Yenny?
Nope.
All right. She's locking in on no. Up for grabs, a tiny towel. Johnny, on average, adults have 32 what?
32 bones.
Oh, my.
What do you mean, oh, my? Count them right now. Count the bones in your body.
You count them.
I think there's 32 just in my hands.
I know. Your hand. The average human has 32 bones in their entire body?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, counting the ribs. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then you go the legs, and then the extra 12 or 15 come from, like, your hands, in each hand.
Based on all your laughing,
The extra 12 or 15 comes because of your feet and hands?
Yeah, Johnny.
They're there. Look
just one bone each?
I'm sure Jake knows the number of how many bones are in the human body, but it's got to be
like
hundreds.
200.
It's got to be hundreds.
There's not that many in my body.
Yes,
there
dude.
has to be.
Oh, God.
I've talked to people that have called the show that have broken hundreds of bones at a time.
Jesus, damn.
All right, well, the correct
206 bones.
Yeah, 206 bones.
206?
You're off only but by a little bit. You want to take a second guess or no? She said you wouldn't know.
Or do you want to say bones again?
Damn.
How much? 32 feet?
Feet bones count?
Okay. The correct answer is teeth.
Oh, teeth?
Yes.
32?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that sounds right.
All right, hold on, Yenny. 1 second. You predicted correctly. Give that woman a tiny towel. Yenny, PG fluids only on your tiny towel, okay?
Yes, of course.
Okay, great. Let's add a Mark in Venice who would like a shot for some Johnny Doesn't Know. It's Johnny Doesn't Know anything. Everything's available. Johnny?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hey. Hello?
Hey, what is a baby frog called, Johnny? What is a baby frog called? Will Johnny know this, yes or no, Mark?
No.
All right. Locking in on no. Johnny?
Loud and clear, no.
Tadpole.
Wow.
Tadpole.
Come on. I'm sorry. You don't get a tiny towel. And the only reason I asked that question is because I didn't want people to shoot their tadpoles into the tiny towels. That's why we brought that up. But that's why we asked the frog question. All right. Well, you, unfortunately, Johnny is not a dummy. He knows that. I can't believe you knew that one.
I used to watch Steve Irwin.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. R.I.P., brother. Darren, Beverly Hills on KROQ. Good morning.
Hey, yo, baby.
Here we go. Johnny?
Yeah, come on.
Alexander Graham Bell is responsible for inventing what? Will Johnny know this, yes or no, Darren?
Yes, I think he should know that one.
Okay.
Should.
Alexander Graham
Should
Bell.
Johnny know is a totally different game.
Yeah, will Johnny know this, yes or no? Johnny?
He was the president.
Whoa.
The first president. No, not the first
You
one.
think Alexander Graham Bell was the first president of the United States?
No, that was Lincoln.
Nope.
No, that's also wrong.
Hamilton.
No.
He is a president.
You're
yes
getting
or no?
more wrong.
You're getting further away. By the way, let's just stop at just what did he invent?
Oh, he invented something.
That was the question.
Oh.
What did
There was
Alexander
no talk of presidents.
Graham Bell invent?
A bicycle.
Okay.
He sounds like a bicycle guy.
Because he heard the word bell. That's why.
Yes.
That's why his brain
It's on
works.
the helmet.
I thought he was going to say he invented the
That's
bell.
his soundtrack in his brain.
Yeah. That's all that's going on in Johnny's head all day. There's a bike bell. All right, Darren. Unfortunately, you did not get that right. Well, this was a very disappointing round of Johnny
Well,
Doesn't
Yenny
Know.
got something.
Yenny got a tiny towel. We got to take a
He
break.
invented the telephone.
ADD News is coming up next. Pretty well known. Who did you think invented the telephone? Who did you think invented it?
I don't know. Somebody else that sounded old.
All right, well, there you go. Johnny doesn't know a lot, but we like having him here anyway, some of the days. It's KROQ, we're Klein Alley Show. Your ADD News is next. K-Rock, we are a Klein Alley show on a Thursday morning. If you need us, phones, text line open, 800-520-1067. Right now, though, let's see what's going on in the news.
Grab your Adderall. It's time for ADD News.
I'd love to bring you only good news, but I do have a couple of updates. Things have been eventful, to say the least, in Southern California this week, and it's kind of seeming like every night is like the purge. Like, you wake up and you're like, what the hell happened now? And there was there was more protests, obviously. There was another skirmish line. There was a high-speed pursuit that went over 100 miles an hour through downtown L.A. and through the freeways of L.A.
Well, that would have happened regardless.
Exactly.
We do those year-round.
But I think at one point they were, like, driving through where the protesters were. So anyway, there is still the curfew in downtown L.A. And then people decided, you know what? If I can't go to downtown L.A., why don't I just protest somewhere else where there's not a bunch of military and LAPD. So they went to a hotel in Whittier where they believe ICE agents are supposedly staying. And if you want to know, I guess they put the ICE agents up at the Hilton Doubletree.
Is that the one where you get the cookie when you check in?
That's where you get the little warm cookie.
Oh, man.
That's so funny. I used to DJ raves down there at that one.
At that same hotel?
Yeah. They have like a big ballroom, and then one summer they just decided to host a bunch of raves down there.
We host raves and ICE agents.
Wow.
Yeah, they still give K-Rock, we are Klein Alley Show. It's Friday morning. Let's find out what's going on in the news. And then in about 30 minutes, you'll have a chance to turn this knowledge into real profit on another $500 Fridays. Back at it again, Allie versus you for $500, or you can battle anyone else on the show for that $100 of Allie's money. And all you got to do is study up what's happening in the world. Let's get to your news right now and learn a thing or two.
Grab your Adderall. It's time for ADD News.
Let's start with a good old-fashioned Diddy update, huh? It's weird that...
great guy.
I know.
No, pull that clip. Someone, come on, pull it.
Nope.
He said
All I said is great guy.
Damn it, Omar. He knows his own tricks.
He knows to be generic. It's kind of weird that, like, Diddy news is on the lighter side when it comes to...
No kidding,
the
right?
news cycle right now. It's like, Diddy, that's comforting.
So refreshing.
Yeah. First off, he is not happy with his chalk drawings, and he's made that clear. All those courtroom sketches, he doesn't like the way he's being portrayed by the sketch artist, and he apparently talked to her about it. And this is the artist, Jane Rosenberg. She's talking about what he said to her in court.
You said you need to soften him up. And then I turned to him, and then I could hear because everybody stopped talking. And he said, you got to soften me up a bit. I look like a koala bear. I didn't know what a koala bear looked like. I had to go and Google it. And I could see the white goatee on a koala bear. Maybe that's why.
Have you adjusted your sketches in any way?
No, I haven't. No, I haven't.
Aside from the fact that she had to Google what a koala bear looks like, it's extremely strange that Diddy would be focused on this at all, given everything else that's going on in the courtroom.
Very image conscious. He cares about the image.
To go up and be like, yo, hey, I look weird. What are you doing? Clean me up.
I was under the impression that if you are on trial, you're not allowed to have any sort of communication with the sketch artist at all.
Well, you're not supposed to have communication with pretty much anybody but your lawyers. And that's another issue, is that the judge has been reprimanding him because apparently he has been, like, nodding or shaking his head at the jury like he's a baseball coach giving hand signals.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like he's looking at them like, no, that didn't happen.
Right. He's not, yeah.
Yes,
He's supposed to just sit, yeah, but it's hard if you sit there stone-faced the whole time and you hear people say terrible things about you, regardless of if they're true or not. It's tough to just sit there and go poker face the whole time.
Oh, totally. That probably is one of the hardest things for, like, if you're a truly evil serial killer and you're just dead inside, I'm sure it's easy.
Yeah.
But if you have any kind of personality and you have an opinion about what's happening, I would imagine that's the hardest part, is just to sit there stone-faced and also listen to people trash you and accuse you of something for hours on end, and then you just have to deal with it.
That sketch artist should be funny, and she should paint Diddy with oil paints.
I think she should paint him as a koala bear.
That would be great, too. Just completely go full koala.
Just eating leaves.
Yeah.
And then there's the crack pipe clip. Now, this is a voice memo that Diddy sent to Jane. Jane is another woman that he had dated leading up to his arrest. She's been on the stand all week. And after a big weird trip they took to Turks and Caicos, he gave her a really heartfelt new nickname.
You are the crack pipe. That's my new name for you, crack pipe. Or should I call you CP?
That's clever.
So beautiful. Think about all the nicknames that you gave significant others, or that
Dude,
they
the
gave
guy's
you.
the regular Shakespeare.
He
loves his lady.
Kind of went with the
crack pipe.
Kind of went with the pantyhose Greg technique. He shortened
PhD.
it. PhD. You're going to be CP, baby.
But yeah, I want you to stay in the light. You know what I'm saying? We had a very, very good time together. Like so much fun. So much fun. Now go rest up. Get in your bag. And I really, really want you to get some rest. I didn't know about you throwing up and all that. That's when I was like, hold up a second. All right, get some rest, baby. Love.
I'm going to call and leave my wife the same message over the weekend.
Seems like a good guy.
That's the new trend, is the guys calling guys and saying goodnight.
Yeah, I'm going to do crack pipe.
Yeah,
hey, baby, I decided.
Call your significant other and say the
get
crack
some sleep,
pipe.
don't throw up.
I'm going to call you crack pipe.
I didn't know about you throwing up and all that. I was like, whoa. Anyway, night.
Good night,
Get in your bag.
Yeah, get in your bag.
It does sound cool leaving that message.
Well, and that's what she was saying is like he would shower me with love and these like compliments, which I don't know. You're my crack pipe is a wonderful, heartfelt compliment. But then, you know, when the actual parties were going on, it was very degrading and terrible.
Well, right.
All right. Did we mush it? You decide. Earlier this week, we talked about the inspiring story of a dolphin live birth caught on camera. It's something that you don't get to see very often. It was a very viral video. It was kind of the happy news that people needed this week. People were crying, seeing this beautiful baby dolphin swimming around with its mama at the zoo in Chicago, and it's dead now.
Mama.
It's dead.
Oh, it died?
Yeah.
It was just born. I thought dolphins live a long time.
They do, but I guess all of a sudden, after 4 days, the dolphin just...
Oh, mama.
Yeah, I know.
Mama.
And they said the zoo is devastated by the sudden loss of the 4-day-old dolphin, which, was born and then all of a sudden died. They don't, it wasn't born unhealthy or anything, but they said that the first few days after birth are a very vulnerable, critical time frame for dolphin calves, and I guess this happens often. But this is the thing. When you start really paying attention to nature is very heartbreaking. Think about the Jackie and Shadow days when they had that year where nothing happened.
Yeah, last year.
And then it was pretty disgusting. One of the eagles started eating its own egg. It was kind of messed up, man. And so, there's these beautiful times where the Sunny and Gizmo, they're flying and everything's wonderful. But my wife will not let me put nature documentaries on in the house because a lot of them are really horrifying.
Yeah, and sometimes, especially if you watch ones that you think are kid friendly, it's a bunch of monkeys playing around, and you think everything's good, and then all of a sudden, until this thing came in, this aardvark came in and ate the monkey.
Dude,
and you're
they come out of left field with it. There was one where it was baby turtles just hatching and then going to the sea.
Right.
And I'm like, this is so cute. And then these animals just all started picking them off one by one. And I was like, I can't handle
What's
this.
the trigger warning? My kids leave these shows devastated.
I know. All right. I've been doing this for a while, mainly because I'm cheap and lazy, but apparently I'm at the forefront of a health trend. When it comes to sunscreen, most of it is awful for you, and there is now a case being made for adults using kids' sunscreen for multiple reasons. They put way less crap in it, things like fragrances and alcohol. That's the stuff that can irritate your skin. And usually kids' sunscreen is much more effective and gentle. And it's usually cheaper. If you even look at some of the biggest brands in sunscreen like Coppertone and stuff, the kids versions are less expensive than the adult versions, and they're better for you and they're better to repel the sun.
All right, there you go. We've just saved your life.
Summer trend.
106.7 KROQ FM in HD Pasadena, Los Angeles, Orange County. This is the world famous KROQ.
Oh yeah, some bonus hours together. Summer hours have officially begun. It's KROQ. We are Klein Alley Show. Not going anywhere, so your weekend can not start just yet. At least our weekend can't start just yet, because here we are together for another hour. We got a giant TV to give you this hour, so get ready to win that. And we've got Box of Shame. I know that that's something we usually do on Fridays, our deepest, darkest, most shameful secrets, if we have time. And another round of Father's Day greeting card redos. Some of the least funny jokes in the history of greeting cards are on the Father's Day cards. We try to make them even better. If you haven't seen the Bo Jackson one that we put together, we really updated the hell out of a card earlier this week, and you can download that. It's a freebie on our Instagram at Klein Alley Show.
You know, Klein, since we're kind of brainstorming on how to give away this final TV, I was thinking about when you put things on like OfferUp or Craigslist or whatever, and you say free, first person to get here gets it.
It's yours.
That is a skill. To be able to see it at the right time, hop in your car, and get there and immediately pick something up, and then to be the second person that shows up and go, damn.
Yeah.
What if it's the first person who can get to this building and pick this TV up? Especially because you have to get a truck, you have to figure out, there's some coordination involved.
Oh, yeah. There's a massive TV.
You got to get it.
You couldn't just take it and walk home with it.
No.
You'd have to figure it out.
You have to be able to take it and haul it away. A lot.
I like that. They got less than an hour to get here, though.
They got to get here.
All
you got to do is get here and get it.
Come here.
OfferUp style.
Grab it.
First come, first serve.
First person that gets in the KROQ studio will be given this giant TV that's sitting behind Allie.
All right, I'm coming in.
No,
not
Jake,
you.
You're not eligible. You work here.
He'll be trying to Velcro it to the top of his car.
I'll get a Sherpa.
So you have to do some digging, find out where we are, how to get up here.
We're not going to give you any information.
Very exciting.
No bet, no cash price, no OBO, best offer. Just get here and it's yours.
I wanted to say hi to Memo Torres, who you probably know if you're familiar with LA Taco, which is one of the finest accounts out there as it pertains primarily to food, but a lot of culture stuff in Southern California. And he's been all on top of how the ICE raids and the protests have really been affecting the people that really feed us all on a daily basis. When we're at our drunkest.
In our times of need.
When we need, and when we have a little bit of money, not enough for a full meal, but enough for one street taco. And you know that's one of the things LA does better than pretty much anywhere else in the entire world. Our street taco game is on point, and so many of the people that work at these stands are being affected. So many of the people that are regulars at these stands are affected. And I wanted to have on Memo Torres just to quickly update us on all things that are happening right now. Taco journalist, what a title! Director of the award-winning LA Taco, and you can find him personally at his handle, which is El Dragon de Los Angeles with a bunch of underscores. We'll post that up on our Instagram as well. Good to talk to you, Memo. Thanks for being on KROQ. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me on.
It's interesting how, we talk about how this week has been emotionally draining for so many reasons here in Southern California. Image is hard to see. Obviously, people's lives completely disrupted, and others just afraid to go anywhere. And how is it affecting all of our thousands of taco trucks?
Well, I mean, they're scared. They're all just terrified out there. I mean, for one, I've been talking to a lot of them during the week and asking me for advice. Should they go out or not? And one of the things that, we discuss is like how the sales are down. I mean, just to start off, sales are down because people are not going out as usual to go eat. A lot of the customers are kind of afraid to be out there. So that, and then the fact that yesterday a couple of days ago, we saw some reports of a stand being emptied to hunger. But yesterday, we confirmed a couple of reports that they started raiding taco trucks in East LA and towards Monterey Park. And they were just going and just picking people up. And not only the taqueros, but their clients, too. So people ordering tacos were
people
getting
who just want a damn taco. This is what infuriates me, Klein, is they said at the beginning, we want to get all the criminals. And I'm like, then why are we going to taco stands and Home Depot parking lots? Is this the place where all the like criminals hang out.
Yeah,
it's insane to me.
Listen, everyone can get hit differently, and if you grew up in L.A. or if you immigrated here, everyone's going to feel very different. But one of the things that I think hits us all equally is the taco trucks, and what is happening now to some of these businesses that have been built up over the years, hard work, and as you know, the reason they're always there working is because they're always there working. So that's why there's a taco waiting for you at any time of the day or night, and that so many of these are now getting shut down. And I also heard, and you reported, I believe, that some of the taco trucks are actually providing food for people that have been displaced or hiding out. Right? I mean, they're also trying to help out their own.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give it to taqueros. Remember during the fires, who stepped up to feed everybody? Taqueros. They were out there with their lunch trucks and their taco stands. They were feeding people, sending burritos, and they'll always be there for each other as well and for the city. So what we've seen, we're starting to see some restaurants and some other trucks, starting to offer food for any families that have been affected or afraid to go out to eat or, just not making enough money because they're afraid to go to work. So, restaurants are starting to either offer donations to, donations from the proceeds to organizations that are helping immigration efforts like Chirla, or B, offering free food to families that have been affected.
Memo, would it also help if we just ate more tacos?
That always helps you.
Yes. No, it definitely helps us. But I'm saying, can we pretend that that's a tax write-off at this point? Or, is there something that we can feel good about ourselves?
This is a charitable donation.
If we all decide to eat 25 tacos today from different
at 25 different places,
are we doing our part at all? Or is that pretty useless in the giant scheme of things?
Actually, no. I mean, I think LA is hurting really bad. The ICE being here is really hurting our economy. It's hurting small businesses. Businesses are closing. They don't see foot traffic. So I really encourage people to skip the big corporate chains and go to your local spots, go to your local taqueria, local restaurants, local businesses, and support them. They really are hurting right now. The big fear is dampening down everybody's, businesses in LA.
Is there any interest? I don't think there will be, Memo, but I have my own taco recipe.
Oh, God, don't even listen to this.
And
this is the saddest
I am
thing
happily
ever.
willing to provide free tacos to anyone who wants it. It's ground turkey.
If anyone's serving Allie's recipe, ICE will leave you alone because they will know you're as white as white gets. She got ground turkey and Greek
ground
yogurt.
Turkey, Tillamook shredded cheese, just cherry tomatoes chopped up, and then some cold iceberg. And then Greek yogurt is my secret. I like to use that instead of sour cream. Any interest, Memo, and maybe I could offer that recipe up and give some free food to anybody who needs it?
Sounds like I'd rather get picked up by ICE and try that.
Yeah, you're not wrong. In fact, if ICE could grab Allie and get her out of here, that'd be great.
Yeah.
That recipe is terrible. Listen, we're trying to make jokes now about something that is not funny to a ton of people, but the reality is what you are doing, I think, is great. If you're not following LA Taco, give them a follow. You should be already. You guys got great stuff there. And everything that you're doing, making people aware, connecting people, helping people as best you can, it's really admirable. And thank you for joining us to shed some light on everything going on. Really appreciate you, Memo Torres.
Hey, thanks. Just real quick, I can't take all the credit. I'm just a lug in the wheel at LA Taco. Shout out to Javier Cabral, Janet Villafana, Marino Watanabe, Lexus Olivia Ray. Everybody, Ali Tomiki, we're all out there working. So it's a team effort out there. So please, we need support too. So make sure you guys follow LA Taco. We need membership donations to keep doing what we're doing. So
all right, good man.
Please check us out.
Memo,
Thank
thanks,
you,
brother. We'll have to have you back here for Ali's White People Taco Night. All right, we got to take a quick break. When we get back, we got these tickets to give out. In fact, let me just go ahead and hold on one second because we have people on the phone for the... Hey, Fernando, Inglewood, congratulations. You're going to go to Knott's Berry Farm, all right?
Oh, that's awesome. Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
Thank
of course.
you.
Absolutely. Cool. 4 tickets are yours. We got those every hour for the rest of the day here at KROQ. Quick break. When we get back, oh, yeah, things are going to get damn good as we try to give away this giant TV. First person to arrive to the KROQ bill. Oh, they're shutting it down?
They are?
I knew that. I knew lawyers would have a problem with that.
What is the problem with somebody coming here?
They actually brought this up as an example, Ali, as something we're not allowed to do. And that's why when you said it, I was like, remember they said because if someone gets in a car accident on the way here, then they sue the company? Remember that whole thing?
No, I don't remember any of that.
This was one of the examples. You can't have people race to the station for
examples
stuff.
In what? In a minute?
In one of the stupid things we had to sit through.
Did you have to do that recently?
No, you were there.
Was?
Yeah, you were taking notes. When we get back, we're going to give away the TV the old-fashioned way, over the radio, and we will get into a Father's Day Greeting card redo next.
Klein Alley Show. Zero artificial intelligence. Also, limited actual intelligence.
You like poor grammar. This is the show for you.
And poor people.
Mornings on KROQ. KROQ. KROQ.
Hi, I'm Allie from Live 105, and ask me about my Honda. I bought my Honda new. It's a 2013 Honda Civic Hybrid. When I got this car, I was a dog walker and a house sitter in San Francisco, and now I am the co-host on a morning show called Kevin Klein Live. We were just talking about this. Don't throw me under the bus again. I end up driving the other guys on the morning show a lot because we go to the same places for events, concerts, appearances. I know every single one of you has been late to work because of car trouble, and I have to pick you up.
And who's laughing now?
Ah!
No one.
No one.
That's the problem.
Now that I'm a local celebrity, I'm interested in getting a brand new car.
Wow. Did you take another job?
I think I might look at the new Civic.
It's a nice car.
It is a nice car.
Interior's cool looking. You think about it, there's better technology in the car than there is in our studio.
Why don't we just work out of the car and not go to the studio ever? It's a good idea. And who knows, maybe I'll want to walk a couple dogs every once in a while, and I need a little space for that. I think there's definitely more room in the new car.
What are you talking about? This is great.
This car is so sleek. Smile. Got a little bit more of a sexier appeal than my other Honda Civic.
Started this road trip with Allie and one dog, and now look at us.
I've definitely got that new dog smell. It's got better visibility too, you know? Hi! Yes, I'm Allie.
It's a Honda or Noah's Bark?
I think I might look at the new Civic or possibly the CRV because there's a lot of space in there. You want to go in the car?
Who got pinworms? I did.
Look how big it is. Hop in.
Watch your tails. Oh. Everybody ready?
Look at that.
Yeah.
Nothing but space.
This car has enough room for an entire morning show and all of our listeners.
This thing actually accelerates really fast.
Sometimes she's like race car Allie,
This is totally legal.
and sometimes she's like responsible adult Allie,
You're having a good time, aren't you?
and sometimes she's like probably shouldn't have a driver's license Allie.
Oh
my God! Someone tell me what that was.
When I talk to my friends and family or anybody who's looking to buy a car, I always recommend Honda. I mean, I'm sold. You like the car too?
Looking for a car you can ride to the top and still get love from your dogs?
if you're racing towards KROQ now, hoping to get a giant TV, the lawyers have shut that down. So just we'll give it away over the radio. And all you got to do is be ready to call when we tell you to. That'll be coming up this hour. And we'll get to some Father's Day card redos next on KROQ. Show. Probably got to buy a Father's Day card if you haven't already, unless you don't like Father's Day, don't celebrate. And trust me when I say I speak on behalf of dads everywhere. When I say cards really don't matter. I would rather like a scratcher. If you're going to give me a card, just instead take that same money, go walk a little bit further over and give me a scratcher.
Especially like those singing ones. Those are like $10. You can get a good scratcher for that.
I don't need a singing card. I would love a scratcher. I think all dads would agree. Now, maybe, sure, you got little kids. They make they put their hand in paint and stick it on the card and hand it to you. It's cute and adorable, but still, we throw it in the trash pretty quickly.
Do that
right?
on a scratcher.
Do that on a scratcher, kids. Get some finger paint and a scratcher. That's what I want to see.
Do your kids really give you cards, like homemade cards?
I think they work on something in school because they came home.
It's nice when the school forces them to be caring.
Yeah, they forced them to do it. And she's like, don't open my backpack. There's a surprise in there for Father's Day for you. And it's a picture frame. And I said, okay, so now I know what you've made me. And she goes, well, oops, I said too much. So they're not good at that. So anyway, we got a bunch of Father's Day cards. They're some of the worst jokes on cards. Greeting cards have the worst jokes, period. But these are the worst of the worst. And I noticed the Father's Day section, at least at the place I went into, was a lot shorter. The Mother's Day cards went like multiple aisles. Father's Day had like not even that big of a section.
Sometimes they half the section with the grads.
They split it up. Yeah, it was like mostly, I would say more graduation cards. So I guess a lot of dads are going to be getting a cap and gown card this year. Get ready. Here we go. I will read you what describe the outside of the card. You can see what it looks like on our YouTube. We're streaming there as well. You can see what these cards look like. These are all real cards. And we're going to try to figure out what the inside says and what it should say if it was actually funny. First card, it's a hamburger with eyes. And it's holding a spatula. It's got a funny little hat on. And it just says, you're the man.
Oh, yikes.
And
off to a bad start.
Off to a terrible start. But the hamburger seems happy.
He's got a funny little hat.
He's like a hamburger man. Yeah, he's wearing a hat, and he's got pickle. He's a fully jacked up hamburger. He's got it all on him. Onions, pickles, cheese, ketchup. And he's
You're hungry, aren't you?
He's still hungry right now. He's wearing...
Looking at me, so all jacked up. He's got pickles on.
These summer hours are killing it. Usually I'd be eating by now. Anyway, they've got... it says, you're the man. So what do you think it says when you open up this hilarious Father's Day card?
Congratulations, this burger probably cost less than this card.
Okay, that is a possible guess.
Or you know what? Maybe this is one of those husband to or wife to husband ones, and it's like a sex one. Like, you've got the best buns in town.
Okay.
Thanks for being my quarter pounder.
Oh man, that's aggressive.
Yeah.
All right. Is that how you think straight people talk, Allie?
I think so.
All right. Omar, what do you think it says?
Yeah, historically these are all lame, so I think it's going to say something like, I relish the time I spend with you.
Oh.
Yep, that would be a terrible joke. So fitting for a card like this.
Relish on a hamburger.
Well, it's, once again, sometimes these cards don't even make sense on a literal or figurative. They're just complete.
It would be a hot dog with a hat and a spatula.
Yeah, but the guy couldn't draw a hot dog, so they went with the hamburger. Jake, what do you think it says?
You're the man. Now go put your meat in some buns.
Oh, damn. Some of these, like the couples ones, are.
It's a pride card. How did that get in there?
Dads, grads, and.
Oh, you said it. Okay, this card, first of all, you open it up. I would have thought it would have. I was thinking maybe it was a sexy one too, from like wife to husband.
Some of those are graphic,
or one of those like funny cards. It's like, thanks for going in and out of mom. Like there's a hamburger on the front, because it kind of does look like an in and out hamburger. And then it just says, not to get too cheesy.
Oh my god!
But you're a great guy and an even better dad.
A great guy? Who cares about being a great guy?
Right. It's like there's that cheese is such a small part of the picture.
I feel like the cheese pun is just such a cop out. Like there's nothing else you can think of than a cheesy card.
Yeah, and they didn't even really. I mean, why even draw the hat on the stupid burger?
Yeah, and why is he holding a spatula then? That makes no sense.
It's so funny. It says well done. I actually wrote down well done, but I'm like, no one wants a hamburger well done.
Yeah, there's a flag on the other side of the card that says well done, Happy Father's Day. But right, a well done burger is pretty much
terrible.
Garbage.
Yeah, that means that your dad is not a good cook.
So moving on from that unfunny card to this one. Now this is actually a high grandpa card. So a lot of times not enough to give cards just your dad anymore. You got to go grandpa, your dad's dad.
We're now having to get ones for my dad, and then like from us as dad, and then ones from him as grandpa. So now the dad gets two cards.
Hey, let me explain the scene here. It's at a farm, and there's a pig on top of another pig's shoulders, and then a little third pig on top of that pig's shoulders, and they're all saying "we."
You're even more hungry now, aren't you?
Starving. Just want this bacon so bad. Let's kill these effers and make some bacon. I hope that's what the inside of the card says, because that would be a card for me.
All right.
So it's clearly a card from a child for their grandfather. But anyway, it's three pigs sitting on top of each other, and you open it up, and it says...
I think it's going to say, time for you to hog the spotlight, Dad.
No, it's a hog joke, okay? Time for you to hog the spotlight, Dad or Grandpa.
Yeah.
It's a beautifully written card. Jake?
Inside, you press a button, and it says, wee!
They stole
A singing card,
Jake's
huh?
catchphrase from the end of the Showtime.
But it's like pig saying we.
All right, once again, 3 pigs on top of the card. You open it up, and Omar, what does it say?
You've got a nice sausage.
All right. Yeah, listen, every man appreciates a good compliment about their dog, even if it comes from their grandchild, right? This says...
a 3-year-old kid.
It would be unexpected. The best comedy is unexpected,
Well,
right?
this is nice. Thank you.
Hey, thanks a lot,
I'll
Junior.
Put this on the windowsill.
It says, would like to wish you... Okay, so the we. So the we plays into the second part
I'd
of the
like
card.
to wish you?
It's we...
That is problematic.
Would like to wish you...
Oh, no.
a happy Father's Day. Hogs and kisses.
Oh, damn. All right, well, this was a hog pun.
They doubled down. Final card, because they're getting worse by the year.
I want to wish you.
All these people should be fired. This is a block of cheese talking to a cheese grater. They both have smiley faces.
Oh, my God.
And I'm hoping when you open it up, it says, cut me so I can feel. But it probably doesn't.
Please use this cheese grater on my face.
Yeah, grate up this card and burn it because it's unfunny. But it says something when you open it up. Excuse me, the block of cheese is saying something to the cheese grater. That's the joke. So what is the block of cheese saying to the cheese grater?
I think we're going to go back to cheesy card.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry for the cheesy card, but you're too great to ignore or something like that.
Ugh.
I think it's
Omar?
going to be great and
Yeah.
cheesy.
Yep, go ahead.
It's going to say something like, you're a Gouda dad.
Oh,
No,
go
Gouda
Gouda.
Dad. All right, it's going specific. Fancy cheese.
Fancy cheese.
Jake?
I was going to say, I hope your day will brie awesome.
All right, the cheese is saying, you're the big cheese today.
Oh, no.
And the grater is saying, there's no one greater. It makes me sad.
You're the
these
big
cards.
cheese.
These make me
Wouldn't
sad.
it? Yeah, I know. And no one says that anymore.
Well, there you
Who
have
says you're the big cheese?
Some
you're
terrible,
big cheese.
terrible.
I am.
Al, you are the big cheese. Let's be honest.
You're a monster.
All right, let's. She's a monster. Ugh. It's KROQ, we are Klein Alley Show. Thanks a lot, greeting card companies. All right. It's KROQ with Klein Alley Show. Jake's going to come in here and hop on the scale in a moment. We'll see how much weight he's lost. He's been on this weight loss journey since he hit his all-time high of 205 pounds. And now he is shedding down that weight. He's wearing T-shirts that he hasn't fit into in years, and we've all heard about the story.
Yep.
So place your bets. He'll be in here in a moment. Hop on the scale. If you are a dad or have a dad or just need a new big TV, we're going to make this open to anyone and everyone right now. Ideally, it would be great if it went to a deserving good father. But perhaps you're someone that doesn't have a dad, so you're lonely. So you'd like a giant TV to take the void of your father. And that's what he would have wanted for you. Or maybe you've planned nothing for your own dad this weekend, and Sunday's almost here, and you've got nothing planned. It's nothing a giant TCL TV can't fix, right?
So if you just need a TV?
If you need a TV.
Or anything else.
Or anything else at all. Because legally and according to the fine print here, that's the only way we can do it.
Everything else will not be approved
Everything
by our
else
legal
is,
department.
quote, dangerous and results in possible trampling. And they don't like that around here. So trample over to your phone right now and be caller 20 at 800-520-1067. I'd love it to go to a dad. I'd love it to go to someone who wants to give it to their dad. But if you're just someone that needs a better TV in your life, we've got one for you right now on KROQ. We'll do that in a second. Jake, get in here. Let's go ahead and see how much you weigh.
You know, last time we did the weigh-in, you had to leave early because your kid was graduating.
Yep.
And Jake had the audacity to skip 169 and go right to 168.
Yeah, 168.6 was his weight last week, so he missed out on the hilarious joke of being exactly 169 pounds.
Pretty
and
much
Jake,
hilarious.
as per usual with your jokes, just a little off. Just a little off.
But not much.
So you're here today.
Yeah.
Part of you is here. He takes up so much less space. You can see Jake's neck
Thank
and
you.
everything. Look at that.
Thank you.
See his chin? He's got back down one chin now, Jake.
I feel like you are losing the most weight in your neck.
Thank you.
How much weight did you carry in your neck before?
50 pounds.
Man.
Yeah.
50 pounds of neck weight. I know what that's like.
Jake, congratulations.
That's in your forehead.
You look
Shut
good. He's about to
Thank you, Lasara.com.
make his way over to the scale. What's the code they're supposed to use if they want to?
Jake 10 for 10% off your entire treatment plan.
All right.
And now that you've had this body transformation, it seems like you're being invited to some cool events.
I am?
Yeah, didn't you go to like a fancy highfalutin event yesterday?
I went to the Fancy Pants. Like, my friends from New York launched like a new dating app thing. That
oh, jeez.
When you start getting invited to dating app launch parties?
Yeah, Jake was going to Beverly Hills yesterday.
I went to Beverly Hills. We're next to a very famous soccer player that I mistook for another soccer player.
Right.
I
and
guess
that would have never
numerous
happened if
Ronaldos.
that, Jake.
Yeah.
Oh, you were next to Ronaldo yesterday?
But the old Ronaldo.
Oh, not the... Oh, really?
Like the guy who played for Brazil like 20 years ago.
Yeah, he's still someone.
And now he looks like he ate his old self.
Oh.
He's way bigger now.
Tell him that?
Jake was all upset because Jake's got this crappy car, and he was embarrassed because I guess this was like a valet-only event, so Jake had to pull up in his terribly crappy car.
They're like literal Ferraris parked in the when you pull up.
Did they
keep
yours in the front or did
No.
they? No.
That would be
they
so
took it away.
great if they kept it in the
they
front
actually,
next
you
to
can hear it peeling away. Like they couldn't get it away fast enough.
It's like has like a whistle.
Yeah.
They probably thought Jake's was one of those cars that you can donate $20 and hit it with a bat for charity, you know?
Yeah.
And I could not believe how fast he brought it out. They're like, get this thing out of here.
All right. Well, Jake is now skinny and apparently very cool. Let's see how much he weighs this week.
All right.
He's about to make his way over to the scale. He was 168.6 last week. And Jake is now 100.
100 pounds? Oh my God.
Jake is 100 pounds, guys.
It's a very light weight.
He's dropped I don't think you have any more weight to lose, dude. He's down to 167.6, so he's dropped another pound this week. Jake, that is the least amount of weight you've lost in a week, but also this is the week that I think we forced you to eat a bunch of food too, didn't we?
No, that was last week, I think.
Oh, well, regardless.
That was the barbecue week, and he still gained or lost more weight.
Yeah, you're wearing it well, Jake. I'll
Thank
say
you very
that
much. Thank you very much.
There it is.
Go to
That's the
Lasara.com.
I'm going to give you this song, a fitting song from The Offspring, and then we'll come back and we'll pick up the winner, give away a giant TV as we get you into your Father's Day weekend. How about some Offspring on KROQ? Officially get you into the weekend, and it's a good one because, well, you got Father's Day on Sunday, and today's Friday the 13th, and there's some other stuff happening. U.S. Open in the golf, you're into that sort of thing. Sit around and watch that, and hopefully, I'd like to be more hopeful about how things in L.A. are looking right now, but it just seems like we're going to be in this thing for the next, couple of weeks, which is not fun, but you know where we stand, and hopefully today we were able to provide at least a little levity for you. All right, Allie, before we do takeaways and give the weekend song, we have this final giant TCL TV. Thank you, TCL. We said we'd love to give dads giant TVs leading up every day to Father's Day. We thought we'd get one, maybe. They gave us 5. We've been giving them out all week long. 490 total inches of TV, and we're going to give another one away right now. It's the big one, Allie.
Yeah, and sorry about all the mispronunciations of the TV.
It's the QM6K.
We still love you.
You look for the QM6K, you're getting the right one, and this is a beaut, and it's massive. And watching the look on people's faces as we've been delivering them has been great.
Because even if you think about 98 inches in your mind and what that would look like, it's so much more massive when you see it in person. You have no idea.
I hope I'm picking up the next call. That will be the 20th call, but I hope this goes to a good person that is deserving and will only watch sports and porn on this thing. Hello, KROQ, who's this?
This is Sarah.
Sarah, are you calling for a giant TV?
Yes, I am.
You going to watch sports and porn on it like Klein wants?
We're going to watch porn and Charger games all day.
Okay, and who is this TV for?
This TV is going to my husband. He is absolutely amazing. He saved me from postpartum depression, and he totally deserves it.
Aw, that's nice.
And what kind of upgrade is this TV going to be for your husband?
We have a 38-inch Samsung, and it sucks.
Oh, my God, 38 inches.
This is a huge... this is that's 60 additional inches of TV you're getting right now.
You even have a wall big enough for this TV, or you'll just figure that part out later?
We do. I measured and found it.
And your husband, this will be the only thing you're giving him for Father's Day, or does he get something else as well?
He gets a Bluey shirt, too, so...
Okay, worth it. Congratulations. I'm glad this is going to your family. You're the proud owner of a brand new giant TCL TV, all right?
Thank God for this TV. If it was just the Bluey shirt.
Yeah, that guy was going to get a Bluey shirt, and that was going to be his day. Not a Bluey job, which is a much better Bluey to get on Father's Day. But regardless, hold on, all right?
You got it.
Thank
you. All right.
Wow, what
She's
a treat.
happy.
All right, let's do some takeaways, and let's get out of here. I see Nicole Alvarez in the hall. She'll have more of those Knott's tickets for you coming up in moments, and then the weekend can officially begin. All right, what do we got?
818, my takeaway is watch out, Lays. You're on Klein's enemy list.
So mad about that.
925, my takeaway is Diddy is the modern-day Shakespeare.
You my crack pipe, girl.
Yeah, similarly, 909 said, remember to wish the crack pipe in your life a good night.
Yeah, it's a good message, by the way, to write in a Father's Day card.
Yeah.
Hey, Dad, you my crack pipe.
213, my takeaway is this Halloween, take your kids trick or shrimping at Klein's house.
Shrimp's a treat, and anyone who disagrees, I don't want to know you. And the fact you guys gave me such a hard time for calling shrimp a treat is crazy.
Just no. It's not at the top of any list.
Jake, is shrimp a treat?
I like shrimp, but I wouldn't call it a treat.
Yeah.
Omar, is shrimp a treat?
I wouldn't say it's a treat. I'm with Jake. I like it, and I'll eat it, but I wouldn't consider it a treat.
Why don't we send Jake back out on the streets?
Jake.
To ask people what they think about shrimp.
That's the street signs for this weekend.
Over the weekend, you're going to go up to the first 10 people and say, would you consider shrimp a treat?
This is how many looks I get.
I guarantee
If you had the choice between 3 other items, which would
No, just say, is shrimp a treat?
Would they go to shrimp as a treat?
Vanessa, is shrimp a treat?
I do like shrimp, but I don't know if it's a treat. I think it's an appetizer.
See?
It's a treat. You guys are all crazy.
Everyone had similar meh feelings about shrimp.
Oh,
I like shrimp. No one's like, oh, shrimp.
I think most times people say, I have a treat for you. Whatever they give you sucks. I'd rather they gave me shrimp.
That is true.
Thank you. Thank you, Jake.
But it's still not a treat.
It's a treat.
213, my takeaway is Jake's facts are 2 years ahead of their time. And 415, my takeaway is Klein loves to add the D.
Gotta add the D.
And 818, Klein pays Allie Friday.
We're not doing that. Have a great weekend. Do it next week. Try to do it better. Thanks for hanging out with us. Bonus hour. Some of you learning about the show for the very first time. And here's our weekend song. It's an anthem that should put you in the right frame of mind. Here we go. Excuse me. There's cilantro in this.
I like it. Thank you, lady.
It's not about that Monday, Tuesday. No one cares about Wednesday. Thursday. Forget that noise.
Come on.
Are you ready for the weekend? Are you ready for the rear end? Are you ready for the weekend? Are you ready for the rear end?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, trash. Thursday, Friday, forget about that. Friday, Saturday, Saturday, Sunday, sleeping in, eating brunch.
Okay, volleyball. Bitches. Bitch. Okay, Lexus. Okay, Lexus.
Hit the beach or hit the mall. Go out with friends, do nothing at all. Sleep in, watch movies, read books. Anything goes, just take a look. Are you ready for the weekend? Yeah. Are you ready for the rear end? Go. Are you ready for the weekend? Yeah. Are you ready for the rear end? Go. Are you ready for the weekend? Yeah. Are you ready for the rear end? Go. Are you ready for the weekend? Yeah. Are you ready for the rear end? Go. Are you ready for the weekend? Yeah. Are you ready for the rear end? Go. God, what have you done?
Klein. Alley. Show. KROQ. Klein Alley Show. KROQ.